Yeah. হিয়া আছে আর ইয়ে আছে কি বলে না না শ্যাম হাসিম আর ইন্দ্রনীল শুরু করে দাও বলে দিচ্ছি শুরু করি hello hello may I have your attention please hello okay we are good. It's almost 1:15 and yes, I think we should start by now. Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to React Kolkata. So, how we are all doing? Okay, I cannot hear anything. How we are all doing? Still not. How we are all doing from the very back of the room? Are we doing great? Still not. Are we doing great? Yes, that's the vibe. Yes, and thanks everyone for coming here. It's a Sunday. It's again 23rd, last meetup, last offline meetup that we had. That was also on the 23rd of May. And coincidentally, this is 23rd of August again, our second meetup. And this one is again another special one to us. Not because this is just another meetup, but because you are all here. It's a Sunday, it's an afternoon. You could have chosen to, stay home, do your favorite binge, watch your favorite movie or series, but yes, still you are here with the curiosity, with the passion to learn something, to take part in the build-a-thon, to learn about JavaScript, AI and frontend. So yes, a big round of applause for you all. Thank you. Yes. I think, hello. Yeah, I think the Josh is still missing. Are we all feeling sleepy? No. But still, I'm not convinced. Are we all feeling sleepy? No, right? Yes, we should not even. Okay. So, just before we quickly start about our today's agendas, first let's quickly thank all the people for whom this meetup has been possible today. So first come first, thanks a lot to Techno India University for giving us their space, this amazing hall and the venue. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot to React Shiliguri for being the partner I think back of the side as well, you can see this tag as also. So yes, remember this and keep tagging us. Next is, yep, let's get started. Just a second. এটা কি লাগবে? All right. So let's get started with our first session. I think all of us know this face, right? How many of you there know this face already? I'm not asking you. So yes. So our very own local face of Kolkata is going to take the stage. CTO and co-founder of Hub. I'm asking Supratim Dhara to come up on the stage, and he's going to talk about something you may have not predicted yet. We have talked about React, we have talked about books and all the things, and surprisingly, he has taken this React topic another level of some connecting with network. So yes, I'm very much excited about where is going. So everyone excited. I'm still out here. I'm excited for first speaker, first session. Are you all excited? At the very back. Yes. So yes, we are all excited, and I am asking Supratim Dara to come up on the stage, and yes, let's get started.
কোনটা বেশি মানে তোকে হার্ট করেছিল? দিস দ্য ভেরি ফ্ল্যাট কোয়েশ্চেন দ্যাট আই পুট আপ টু ইউ। কি বললো? এক্স এক্স এআই? আচ্ছা, এক্স ছিলই না, এরকম ছিল কেউ? এক্স নেই কোনো একটাও এখনো? ওই তো লাস্ট বেঞ্চে হাত তুলেছে। ভালো, এক্স বানা তাড়াতাড়ি করে। আচ্ছা, হু অ্যাম আই? থ্যাংকস ফর দ্য অ্যামেজিং ইন্ট্রোডাকশন বাই শ্রীলগ্না। তাও আমি বলছি, ঠিক আছে? সো আই এম সুপ্রতিম. I am the CTO and co-founder of Hub. It's a B2B platform that we are working on. And ওই আর কি, ফ্লেক্স করার জন্য co-founder লিখে দিয়েছি, ঠিক আছে? আর কিছুই না, বাকি সবই করি। আর সিস্টেম ইঞ্জিনিয়ার অ্যান্ড ওপেন সোর্স বিল্ডার। ওপেন সোর্সে অনেক কাজ আছে আমার। ইউ ক্যান গো ইন টু মাই GitHub প্রোফাইল অ্যান্ড ইউ ক্যান ফাইন্ড দোজ ওয়ার্কস, ঠিক আছে? আর যেটা তুই দেখতে পাচ্ছি, মাই এক্স লেফট মি ডিউরিং দ্য গ্রাইন্ড। ইয়েস, শি লেফট। যাই হোক, তার মনে হয়েছিল তুমি আমাকে টাইম দাও না বলে চলে গেছিলো সে, ঠিক আছে? এখানে যে ছেলেরা যারা হাসছিস, তারা কি তোদেরকেও ছেড়ে দিয়ে চলে গেছে তারা? মানে এরকম অডিয়েন্স তো বলছে না, তাহলে তোদেরকে ছেড়ে দিয়ে চলে গেছে? না, ওদিকে যেতে নেই। এইদিকে মেয়েদের মধ্যে কেউ আছিস যাদের এক্স ছেড়ে চলে গেছে হুট করে? যে কেউ একটা হাত তুলছে পেছনে। ও, ছেড়ে দিয়ে চলে গেছে হুট করে? এ বাবা, কি দুঃখের কথা। সো ইয়েস, রিয়াক্ট আমরা ইউজ করি ফর এভরিথিং ফ্রম ল্যান্ডিং পেজেস টু ইউআই টু ড্যাশবোর্ডস টু এভরিথিং। ঠিক আছে, রিয়াক্ট মানে একটা ফ্রন্ট এন্ড ফ্রেমওয়ার্ক হিসাবে এতদিন অবধি এস্টাবলিশড, অ্যান্ড ইট ইজ very মানে কমন ফর ইউ গাইজ টু ইউজ ইট ইন ইয়োর পোর্টফোলিওজ অ্যাজ ওয়েল। ঠিক আছে, সবাই মোস্ট প্রবাবলি এখন পোর্টফোলিওতে রিয়াক্টই ইউজ করে, নেক্সটও ইউজ করে কিছু কিছু জন। ঠিক আছে, বাট সি রিয়াক্ট হচ্ছে সব কিছু ইউজ করি হচ্ছে মানে মানে এখানে যা যা লেখা আছে ড্যাশবোর্ড, চ্যাট অ্যাপ, ডেটিং প্রোফাইল, সব কিছুতে আমরা রিয়াক্ট ইউজ করি। ইভেন যদি কেউ বলে যে আমাদেরকে যে একটা রিলেশনশিপ বানিয়ে দিতে, তাহলেও আমরা রিলেশনশিপটাও আমরা একটা বিল্ডার কনটেক্সট দিয়ে বানিয়ে দেবো। সো তোর কনটেক্সটের মানে জানিস রিলেশনশিপ বলছি, মানে কনটেক্সট কি হয় রিয়াক্টে? রিয়াক্টে কনটেক্সট কি হয় জানিস না? এ কি মাথাও নাড়াতেও অসুবিধা কেন? রবিবার বলে কি মাংস ভাত খেয়ে ঘুম পাচ্ছে? এ কি এটা খুব বাজে, একদম ঠিক না। যাই হোক, তো এইখানে রেড ফ্ল্যাগস ইগনোর করে আমরা এরকম একটা ফাংশন লিখে দিই যে কনস্ট্যান্ট লাভ, ট্রাস্ট আর আনরিজলভ ট্রমা, সেটা ইউজ কনটেক্সট একটা কনটেক্সট যেটা ইউজ করবে তোর রিলেশনশিপ কনটেক্সটটা। তো এর মধ্যে ইনপুট কি কি যাচ্ছে? লাভ থাকবে, ট্রমা থাকবে, ট্রমা থাকবে বলছি, আনরিজলভ ট্রমা থাকবে, ট্রমাটা আসবে, কারেক্ট। হ্যাঁ, কি বললো? যাই ও হ্যাঁ, তোকে দেখেই লাগছে ট্রমাটিক তুই। আর ট্রাস্ট তো থাকবে, সেটা পরে গিয়ে ভাঙবে। যাই হোক, সো এই তিনটে নিয়ে একটা কনটেক্সট তৈরি হচ্ছে, সেটা আমরা রিয়াক্টে ইউজ করছি। সো রিয়াক্টের কাজ শুধু যে এইখানে যে ইউআই বানানো নয়, সেটা আমি এখানে প্রুভ করছি। ঠিক আছে, প্রুভ করবো। ঠিক আছে, আচ্ছা, এইখানে আজকের ডেটে এখানে সবার কাছে অ্যান্ড্রয়েড আর আইওএস আছে, রাইট? সবার কাছে মানে কোনো একটা ফোন তো আছে, আবার অনেকে দূর দূর করেও আছে। কে কে বেশি অ্যান্ড্রয়েড ইউজ করিস? অ্যান্ড্রয়েড ইউজার কারা? আইওএস ইউজার্স কমই আছে। ঠিক আছে, স্টিল দেখ, ইভেন ইফ ইউ ডু দ্যাট, মানে ম্যাক ওএস ইউজার্স, ম্যাকবুক ইউজার্স বা উইন্ডোজ কে কে আছে তার মধ্যে? উইন্ডোজ বেশি। ঠিক আছে, কোয়াইট ডিপেন্ডেন্ট। এবার উইন্ডোজ হোক, আইওএস হোক, অ্যান্ড্রয়েড হোক, লিনাক্স হোক, যাই হোক, all these devices have a multi-core CPU। ঠিক আছে, থ্রেডিং অ্যান্ড মাল্টি-কোর সিপিইউ, এগুলো তো শুনেছি। মাল্টি থ্রেডস, থ্রেডে অ্যালোকেট করা, প্রাইমারি থ্রেড ইজ ফর ইউআই, secondary thread is for other substances that is there in your web app or your application or whatever you build। তো সেই রকম ভাবে এই মাল্টি কোর প্রত্যেকের কাছে, আমাদের কাছে সিপিইউ আছে, প্রত্যেকের পকেটে হোক, হাতে হোক, মানে ব্যাগে হোক, যেটাতেই হোক। সো মাল্টি কোর সিপিইউর মধ্যে আমরা একটা বা দুটো কোর হার্ডলি ইউজ করি ফর ডে টু ডে টাস্ক, বিট হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ চালানো, ক্রাশকে মেসেজ করা, ইনস্টাগ্রামে কোনো মেয়ের ছবি দেখা, মেয়েদের ক্ষেত্রে হলে ছেলেদের ছবি দেখা, বা ইউটিউবে র্যান্ডম জিনিসপত্র দেখা। হ্যাঁ, র্যান্ডম মানে কি বলতে চাইছি বুঝতেই পারছিস। টিন্ডারে কে তোকে রিজেক্ট করলো সেটা দেখা, এইগুলো। তো ম্যাক্স, so this is the thing, like whenever you use a particular any application, be it in React or be it in anything, ঠিক আছে, whatever you do, the core that you maximize, maximum use is your two cores maximum। ঠিক আছে, even if you play games, heavy games, okay। so বাকি কোরগুলোর কি থাকে, বাকি কোরগুলো কি করে তখন? any idea about it? যে বাকি কোরগুলোতে what runs on the other cores or on the other threads? Do you have anyone has any idea about it? Let's say you are playing PUBG. What happens to the other cores? It's or maybe you are swiping through Tinder, or you are ordering something on Swiggy. So what happens to the other cores? Background workers, yes. Are system apps কি বললো? System apps এর মধ্যে কি থাকে, মানে তোর ইয়ে এলিমেন্টারি, হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, লোকেশন সার্ভিসেস, ব্লুটুথ সার্ভিসেস, তোর কি বলে ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড চেকার্স, লাইক অফলাইন হয়ে গেল কিনা, অর দিজ আর দ্য থিংস দ্যাট রান ইন দ্য, বাট সেইটাতেও ইন দ্যাট টু তোর বাকি যে ওয়ার্কারগুলো, যেগুলো এগুলো সবকটা ওয়ার্কারেরই এক রকমের ক্লাস, এক একটা নাম হচ্ছে। সো এই ওয়ার্কারগুলো কোনোটাই they do not use enough of your CPU। so আমরা এটা assume করতে পারি যে 80% of the CPU is being used in your primary thread or the primary core, বাকিটা পুরোটা বাকি থাকছে, মানে 80% ভুল বললাম, 80% ফাঁকা থাকছে, 20% ইউজ হচ্ছে, উল্টোটা বললাম। সো এইবার আসছে মেন জিনিসটা, যদি আমরা এখানে মানে যে দ্য লেফট ওভার কোর্স বা লেফট ওভার থ্রেডস এইগুলোকে অ্যাকিউমুলেট করে যদি একটা আমরা কম্পিউট ইঞ্জিন বানাতে পারি, এইটা কিভাবে করব এটাই আমি বলবো। বাট তার আগে বল যে তোরা এখানে এআই নিয়ে কাজ করেছে কারা কারা, এআই মডেলস হোক, ট্রেন করানো বা কোনো রিফাইনমেন্ট বা ইনফারেন্সিং জবস। সো এখানে এই যে এতজন যে হাত তুললি, এডাব্লিউএস এর নাম শুনেছিস? এডাব্লিউএস তোদেরকে জিপিইউ দিচ্ছে যার জন্য মানে ট্রেনিং করার জন্য, রাইট? এবার বল বিল কত আসে? বিল কত আসে? বিল অনেক আসে। যেটা ফ্রি থাকে ওটা বাদ দিও, ওটা দ্য ফ্রি পার্ট, ওই 12 মান্থসের যে ট্রায়াল বলে একটা কিছু থাকে, $100-200 এরকম। যদি এন্টারপ্রাইজ স্কেলে যাস তাহলে সেটা আরও বেশি বাড়ে, রাইট? 400, 500, মেবি $1000, মেবি তার থেকেও বেশি, রাইট? সো তুই একটা জিনিস ভাব, প্রত্যেকটা কম্পিউটারে, প্রত্যেকটা ডিভাইসে, ইনফ্যাক্ট, ঠিক আছে, প্রত্যেকটা ডিভাইসে সিপিইউ আর জিপিইউ আছে। যদি আমরা কনসিডার করি ট্রেনিং মডিউল, সেগুলোর জন্য জিপিইউ ইজ নেসেসারি। যদি আমি মানে মানে ইয়ে করি ইনফারেন্সিংয়ে কিন্তু জিপিইউ ইজ নট নেসেসারি। সিপিইউতে ইট ক্যান রান ইনফারেন্সিং, ঠিক আছে? হোয়াট ইজ ইনফারেন্সিং? ইনফারেন্সিং ইজ বেসিক্যালি তুই একটা চ্যাটবটে কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করলি যে হোয়াট ইজ দ্য রেসিপি অফ বাটার চিকেন মশালা, এই যে এই টোকেনটা গেল, এই টোকেনটা আবার এলো তোর কাছে, যে আনসারটা এলো, দিস ইজ নোন অ্যাজ ইনফারেন্সিং। সিম্পল টার্মসে এটা বোঝাতে গেলে, ঠিক আছে? যদি পুরোটা বোঝাতে যাই তাহলে পুরো দিন চলে যাবে, বাকিটা বলতেই পারবে না কোনো কথা। সো এইবার তোকে ক্লাস্টার, এখানে ডকার, কুবারনেটিস এগুলো জানিস, এখানে ক্লাস্টার তৈরি হয়। কেউ একটা পেছনে হাত তুললি কিছু কারণে, যে আবার মাথাও নামিয়ে নিলি, যাই হোক, পছন্দ হয়নি কোথায় আমাকে। তো এরকম ক্লাস্টারের মতন যদি আমরা প্রত্যেকটা আলাদা আলাদা নোড হিসাবে ধরি, লেটস সে এখানে কতজন আছে, 300 পিপল আর দেয়ার। সো লেটস সে উই কানেক্ট অল দিস 300 পিপল অন আ সিঙ্গল মেশ and try to use the compute from this all these 300 devices that they have, ঠিক আছে? এই জিনিসটা যদি করে, one browser is cool, what about 10, what about 100, what about 1000? এই 1000 ব্রাউজারকে কানেক্ট করা হয়। আর if you know the term t-flop, t-flop is the metric that you measure যে কতটা কম্পিউট আছে, কতটা কম্পিউট আমি পাবো বা ইউজ করব, সেটাই হচ্ছে t-flop। এবার লেটস সে ফর এক্সাম্পল আমি বলছি একটা ইউজারের কাছ থেকে আমি 5টা টি-ফ্লপ পাচ্ছি, ফর এক্সাম্পল, এটা একদম আরবিট্রারি এক্সাম্পল, এটা কোনো রিয়েলিস্টিক এক্সাম্পল নয়। 5 টি-ফ্লপস, এখানে আছে 300, হাউ মেনি উই আর গেটিং? যদি প্রত্যেককে কানেক্ট করা যায়, 1500 টি-ফ্লপস। আর 1500 টি-ফ্লপস ইজ এনাফ টু রান আ ছোটোখাটো মডেল, 2 বিলিয়ন প্যারামিটার মডেল আরামসে আমরা একটা রান করতে পারবো। সো এটাই যে যে মানে বাকি থ্রেডগুলো আছে সেইটাকে কানেক্ট কর। কিভাবে করবি? এই যে এইখানে হচ্ছে দেখ, there are nearly 300 phones in this auditorium right now. Instead of texting your ex, যেটা পেছনে বসে বসে করছে অনেক কজন, আমি তোমাকে মিস করছি, কাল রাত্রিরে খুব মনে পড়ছিল তোমার কথা, পেছনে ওই এখনও করছে বসে বসে, যাই হোক। তারপরে বলছে যে এইখান দিয়ে রাস্তা দিয়ে আসছিলাম, একজন হাত ধরে যাচ্ছিল, তারপরে কদিন পরে পুজো আসছে, আবার মনে পড়বে, তাকে আবার বলবি ছেড়ে যেও না প্লিজ, এইবারের মতন একবার চান্স দিয়ে দাও আমাকে, এটসেট্রা এটসেট্রা। করবি তো? কে কৌস্তব হেঁটে হেঁটে যাচ্ছে, কৌস্তব করবি তো? কেউ না করলে কৌস্তব আর সুলগ্না তো করবেই, সুলগ্না করবে তো? আচ্ছা, এনিওয়ে, সো এইবার হচ্ছে পেছনে সরি ওয়াইফাইয়ে নিয়ে বসে বসে ওই এক্সকে টেক্সট করা আর ক্রাশকে টেক্সট করার থেকে ভালো একটা মেশ বানাই। মেশটা কীভাবে বানাবো? দেখ, সিম্পল, ওয়েব আরটিসি আর ওয়েব অ্যাসেম্বলি, এই দুটো সবাই জানিস। এই দুটো দিয়ে আমরা কানেক্ট করব। এই যে রিয়াক্ট ইজ দ্য টক্সিক এক্স আর ওয়ার্কার্স আর দ্য সিম্পস, ঠিক আছে? ছেলেরা যার ব্যাপারে ওই ইনসিকিওর থাকে যে আমার গার্লফ্রেন্ডের স্টোরিতে লাইক করছে মানেই কিছু কেস চলছে ভেতর ভেতর, ঠিক আছে? আমার ছিল ভাই, আমি ইনসিকিওর ছিলাম, যাই হোক, তারপরে সেই যাই হোক যা হয়েছে হয়েছে, যাকে। তো রিয়াক্ট ইজ দ্য টক্সিক এক্স, সে হচ্ছে মানে তোর দেখ, রিয়াক্টে আমরা যখন ইউআই বানাচ্ছি, ইউআই এ কি কি কম্পোনেন্ট ইজ দ্য মোস্ট ইউজড? তিনটে এক্সাম্পল বল, তিনটে জিনিস যেগুলো কম্পোনেন্ট, যেগুলো রিয়াক্টে সব থেকে বেশি ইউজ করা হয়। কি? প্রপস, আচ্ছা, একটা হলো কনটেক্সট, আর তারপরে 3 নম্বর কি? হুকস। আর আরেকটা নিয়ে এদিক থেকে কেউ একজন বল, ওদিক থেকে অনেকজন বললো। আয়া ওদিকে বারণ করেছি, এদিকে বলছি। স্টেট ম্যানেজমেন্ট এটা একটা কম্পোনেন্ট, আমি কম্পোনেন্ট বলছি, কম্পোনেন্ট। বাটন, বাটন ইউজ করিস না, বাটন তো একটা কম্পোনেন্ট রে বাবা, তাই তো? ঠিকই তো। তো বাটন একটা কম্পোনেন্ট, চারটে কম্পোনেন্ট। তো এই চারটে কম্পোনেন্টকে যদি একসাথেও চালাই তাহলেও কি আমাদের কোনো ম্যাথামেটিক্যাল ক্যালকুলেশন, অ্যানিমেশন বাদ দিয়ে, ঠিক আছে, বিশাল কিছু ম্যাথামেটিক্যাল ক্যালকুলেশন হচ্ছে না। তো টক্সিক এক্স কি করে তোদেরকে, পুরোনো টক্সিক এক্স, তুমি এই করেছো, আমার কাছে এই স্ক্রিনশট আছে, তুমি ওর সাথে ঘুরতে গেছিলে, এই আছে ওই আছে, কিন্তু আদতে কিছু কিছু নেই। সেই রকম হচ্ছে এখানেও বাটন লেআউট বা বাটনের কোনো একটা ইয়ে করতে গেলে, ডিভিশনকে মানে তোর ইউআই রেন্ডার করতে গেলে এমন কিছু হাহামুড়ি জিনিসপত্র করতে হয় না। সো সেই রকমই হচ্ছে রিয়াক্ট এখন অ্যাট দিস পয়েন্ট। আমি এখানে রিয়াক্টের ইভেন্টে এসে রিয়াক্টকে এক্স বলছি, যাই হোক। তো এবার আসছে ওয়ার্কার্স। এই ওয়ার্কারগুলো যেগুলো ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড ওয়ার্কার যারা চলছে, তারা মেনলি চেক করে দেখ ওয়াইফাই কানেকশন আছে কিনা। আমি যদি ক্লাসিফাই করি এটাকে বড় বড় কাজের মধ্যে, ফার্স্ট হচ্ছে ওয়ার্কার আছে কিনা। ওয়ার্কারের মধ্যে এইগুলো থাকছে, ব্লুটুথ, ওয়াইফাই, এইগুলো। সো এই ইউজ করে আমরা যে ম্যাট্রিক্সগুলো থাকে এআই এ বা এতে কম্পিউটিংয়ে ইউজ করতে হয় ম্যাট্রিক্স, ঠিক আছে। এই ম্যাট্রিক্সগুলোকে শার্ড করে পাঠানো, বেসিক্যালি ইউজ করা। সো এই যে এরকম ওয়েব জিপিইউ শেডার্স ইউজ করে আমি শার্ট করে পাঠাচ্ছি। এসআইএমডি তোদেরকে এখন বোঝাতে গেলে বুঝতে পারবি না, ঠিক আছে। আর বিটনেটের কোয়ান্টাইজেশন কোয়ান্টাইজ করে, যেটা ফ্লোট 30টাকে ইন্ট 8-এ কনভার্ট করে, ঠিক আছে। এবার ওই যে ক্যাজুয়াল হুকআপের মতন ব্যাপার এটা, ঠিক আছে। এবার এই এই জায়গাটা হচ্ছে যে হাউ টু রান আ 70 বিলিয়ন প্যারামিটার, এইটা বড় জিনিস ছিল, বাট ডিউ টু শর্টেজ অফ টাইম এটা আমি কভার করছি না। বাট এটা আমি উপর থেকে বলে দিচ্ছি উপর যে for let's say 3 devices are connected, one is a mobile phone, a laptop and a tablet, ঠিক আছে। তিনজনের আলাদা আলাদা কম্পিউট পাওয়ার। সো তিনজনের ক্ষেত্রে শার্ডিং করা হবে যে ম্যাট্রিক্সটাকে, সেটাকেও পাঠানো হবে কিন্তু ছোট ছোট চাংসে। নট আ সিঙ্গেল প্যাকেট ইজ গোয়িং টু ট্রাভেল থ্রু দ্য ওয়েব আরটিসি প্যাকেট ট্রান্সফার প্রোটোকল, যেটা দিয়ে মানে একটা ডিভাইসে যেন পুরোটা না যায়, ঠিক আছে, সেই জিনিসটা। আর এই যে ইফ ইউর এক্স ওয়াজ আ ডিস্ট্রিবিউটেড সিস্টেম, ঘোস্টিং কাকে বলে, সেটা হচ্ছে নোড ডিসকানেক্ট হয়ে গেল, ঠিক আছে, হঠাৎ করে কোনো একটা নোড, ঠিক আছে, ওয়াইফাই সিগন্যালের জন্য। মিক্স সিগন্যাল কাকে বলে, যেটা হচ্ছে নেটওয়ার্ক জিটার আর লেটেন্সি, ঠিক আছে। অ্যাট ডিফারেন্ট প্লেসেস উই হ্যাভ ডিফারেন্ট টাইপ অফ নেটওয়ার্ক, 4G 5G এরকমভাবে। তো সেইটাকে কীভাবে ইয়ে করে, আই এম ফাইন উত্তর যেগুলো আসে, ঠিক আছে। আনহ্যান্ডেলড প্রমিস রিজেকশন, যেটা হচ্ছে লেটসে তোর একটা প্যাকেট গেল, তুই প্যাকেটটা ওখানে প্রসেস হলো অ্যাট দ্যাট পার্টিকুলার কম্পিউট, রিটার্ন এলো না, ঠিক আছে, ওটার মানে হচ্ছে আই এম ফাইন। আই এম ফাইনে কী হয়, মানে তোর পেছনে পেছনে অনেক কিছু ব্যাপার আছে ভেতর, ঠিক আছে। আর চিপ কী করে চিপ হচ্ছে এটা আমি আর এখানে বলছি না। এইবার মেন পার্ট, যেটার ব্যাপারে সবাই এক্সাইটেড থাকে, যারা আমাকে চিনিস তারা জানিস প্রত্যেকটা ইভেন্টে আমার একটা করে পিক আপ লাইন থাকে, যেটা ইউজ করতে পারিস তোরা নিজের দায়িত্বে, ঠিক আছে। ফর দিস ইট ইজ দিস, ঠিক আছে। আই জাস্ট কানেক্টেড এভরি সিঙ্গেল ডিভাইস অ্যাক্রস দিস রুম অ্যান্ড ইউ আর স্টিল দ্য অনলি নোড আই ওয়ান্ট টু হুক আপ উইথ টুনাইট। সো তোরা যদি ইউজ করতে চাস তাহলে ইউজ করতে পারিস, বাট ফ্রেন্ড জোন হলে আমার দায়িত্ব না, ব্লক হলে আমার দায়িত্ব না, ঠিক আছে। ছেলেরা একটু সাবধানে ইউজ করিস। ওকে, ছবি তোলা হয়ে গেছে সবার, যা যা তোলা ছিল। সো ইয়া, আনলাইক ইউর এক্স হু ডাজন্ট টেক্সট ইউ ব্যাক, আই উইল try to text you back. These are my social links if you want to connect with me. আর as তাপস দা সেড, কানেকশন মানে ওটা নয় যে শুধু ফলো করে নিলাম আর হে কানেকশন বলে একটা করে পোস্ট দিয়ে দিলাম ট্যাগ করে। কানেকশন মানে রিয়েলি তুমি সামনে এসো, কথা বলো, তবেই গিয়ে মনে থাকবে, আমার তাছাড়া মনে থাকবে না, ঠিক আছে। সো দ্যাটস ইট। তোরা যদি চাস এটাকে স্ক্যান করতে পারিস যদি মনে হয়। অ্যান্ড ইয়া, দ্যাট ওয়াজ মাই টাইম আই গেস। সো থ্যাংক ইউ এভরিওয়ান। যারা পেছন দিকে দেখলি না, যারা রেসপন্ড করলি না, তাদের যদি একটাও পোস্ট দেখেছি না, থ্যাংক ইউ ফর দ্য নলেজ, হে কানেকশনস, আই অ্যাটেন্ডেড রিয়াক্ট কলকাতা 23rd August, একটাও রিপোস্ট করবো না। আচ্ছা শুনলাম না, ও আচ্ছা তো
Hello. Yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm back. And did you like the session? Learned a lot? I believe so. Enjoyed? I think that is 10 on 10, I believe. Yes, that's so true. Yeah, we all enjoyed this session throughout, and thanks a lot, Supratim, again, for such an interactive session and such a knowledgeable session. And next, we are moving forward with our next speaker. I don't take a lot of time in about a lot of things. So yes, I will really ask him to come up on the stage. So our next speaker is Shayok Shaha, software engineer 2 at Vonage, and he is going to talk about React compiler era, internals, performance, and AI safety. I think a lot of people last time talked about, hey, we had a lot of AI talks, right? Where is the React internals and React related talks? So yes, we have carefully chosen the React internal and React architecture related talks, and I think you are going to enjoy this talk a lot. So yes, over to you, Shayok.
I need to connect this. Can I switch the HDMI? I have a HDMI port. Okay. I do have a HDMI port, but the thing is I need to connect this one to my system. Hello, hello.
You need the mic for that. I think it will be
না আমার এটা তো হয়ে যাবে এখানেও এইচডিএমআই রয়েছে জাস্ট আমি এটা ডিসকানেক্ট করতে পারি ডিসকানেক্ট
হ্যাঁ ডেফিনেটলি ডিসকানেক্ট করতেই হবে We need someone here.
ডান রাইট এক সেকেন্ড এটা আমার ওটা শেয়ার করা রয়েছে
I think Windows P. Windows or Mac P. I'll choose the content. Yeah. We're good to go?
done yes thank you hello all settled in yeah so we are going to start the next talk I think the first talk was quite funny quite energetic right so all of you guys are seems to be like very cool on this so first of all thanks to everyone because you chose to come on a Sunday afternoon in Kolkata and for a React meetup so that's a great thing actually so what we are going to learn today or get an overview is yeah obviously it's an internal topic of React compiler comparatively a new topic so I would say there are some limitations of this topic so this is not intended to be very specific or very too much architectural knowledge of the React compiler I would say but you will definitely get an overview probably you will use it next time onwards so let's just start it so okay I have an agenda but still I will just tell like what we will be traversing through so we will learn the internals we will learn some performance bottlenecks why we need to use React compiler more and obviously some AI safety guides okay let's just start in so a brief overview of me so I work as a software engineer 2 in Vonage and previously I was at TCS and I did some internships in different startups including IIT Bombay and Hunar AI so and obviously you can talk to me if anything you need to know about web front-end and AI like I work in these three things okay let's just start in the next slide so what we are going to learn is why we optimize React like okay first of all I just want to like I need a quick show of hands like how many of you are here professionals like working professionals yeah quite a few and I believe rest of you are students so have you ever like tried to optimize any React application probably you have created it using AI probably you have created it using for your projects but have you ever tried to optimize it anyone okay can like the last benchers can hear me well Yeah, thank you so much. So can anyone tell me like why did you feel like you need to optimize your application? Can anyone like stand and tell me? If anyone just wants to speak. Yeah, obviously that's the thing. Yes. So and next we are going to talk about how we used to solve like how the current scenario that we solve it. There are three things I think you guys know about it, and then the paradigm shift to React compiler, right? So that's what we are going to learn about today. And there are like key features of React compilers that also we will see, and why not to use the compiler, AI safety, some adoption guide. I will also share that, and again some Q&A. Okay, so why we need to optimize React, right? So React by default is very fast. Like you won't notice, even if you don't optimize it, you won't notice it for smaller applications or smaller projects. But by the practice of React or by the architecture, it follows through parents to childs, right? So if a parent component gets re-rendered, all of its childs will re-render. So that's a performance issue. Again, like there are like heavy objects, arrays, or any functions. So in render phases, it will create new memory references. So that is a performance bottleneck. And also, all these issues boils down to creating different unnecessary VDOM creations or virtual DOM modifications. That also creates a performance bottleneck, and like it's wastes CPU cycles. Obviously, it reduces the performance of your browser, and hence you will see a like buggy UI or something. So can anyone tell me like what is the process that we solve it currently? Like what do we use it to solve these things right now without React compiler? Does anyone know it? There are three things. Can anyone tell me any one of them? Use callback. Yes, use callback is one of them. Yes, correct. Use memo. Then React memo. Correct. These three are the things. So I think you guys all aware of this, like what does these three things do, right? So use memo is like when you have some heavy computations or heavy computation works in your project. So you use memo to like memorize the value, right? So use callback is like when you want to memorize the function references. For that you use callback. And React.memo is like when you want to memorize the component itself, and you don't want the component to have you want to prevent it from re-rendering for every prop changes. In that case, you want to use React.memo. So these things you are using, but the thing is we need to do it manually every time. We need to think about like where we want to use each of them, right? So this thing is a bottleneck to development experience. And this fails at scales as well. So I have like pointed out few points here, like easily broken caches. Like so, these things have this architecture is again like from parent to child, right? So any prop that is not memoized and you pass it down from the parent to child, so the whole cycle or the whole tree got eliminated from the memoization cycle. So this is one thing. Dependency array bugs is like you miss a dependency by any chance that should be added in the dependency array, and it creates another like re-rendering issue. Then wasted developer time is like you need to think through it, right? Like where you want to use memo, where you want to use the callback. Like probably you would use callback in every functions, but is that necessary? And you need to think about it, right? Cluttered code base is like obviously if you use memo, use callback, use dot memo, everything it's just cluttered the whole code base. But we don't think through it, and humans have to like remember all the complex memory references. So to avoid all these things, what we have React compiler. This is a paradigm shift, and it came with React 19, but yeah, it's backward compatible too, to some extent. So we will know about this React compiler today. So the key features of it, as I told you, it just eliminates these three things of these three things, like use memo, use callback, and again this React.memo. Okay, So this is one thing, like it eliminates the manual hooks. So you don't need to use it. Like React will by default track those changes, and it will do the memoization by itself. So yeah, it does the granular caching as well. Like whenever you think, like you don't need to think through it. Like React will decide when it has to cache, and obviously I will show you some cool things as well. Component level skipping is like when it thinks that the parent component itself can be optimized, so it will reduce the whole parent, child, subchilds, everything. It will reduce those components from the re-rendering cycle. Automatic dependency tracking, as I told you, like you don't need to manually add those dependency arrays anymore. Safe fallbacks is like, suppose if in some a component down the line, your rule of React breaks, right? What I mean when I say rule of React, like suppose you are mutating the props directly. In that case, it will check that, okay, you are breaking this rule of React, so it will fall back to normal way of using components. So it won't like it won't try to memorize the component, or it will not try to create bugs on that. Rather, it will just use it, like it will just let it re-render. And backward compatibility is like it came with React 19, but still you can use it with React 17 or 18 as well, if you have the code in React 17 or 18. Okay, and this memo and this, I think if you have used React compiler, you might have seen this thing. Can anyone tell me, like, where do you see this thing? This memo and this, hello? Yeah, thank you. So can anyone tell me, like, if you have seen this thing anywhere, this memo and this star sparkles? So if you use React compiler on the DevTools, React DevTools, I guess everyone has seen it, right? React DevTools, it stays on your browser for like tracking everything, for tracking like developer, the thing you do basically with this console things, it will give you there also. So all the components that are memoized with React compiler, it adds a badge of memo and the sparkles. So you know that which components are actually memoized. Okay, so we will learn like how the compiler works under the hood. So when I say under the hood, it actually does a lot of things, right? So you know that it eliminates a lot of things from your end. So it does a lot of things internally. So you don't need to bother about it, but still it's good to know what all things it is doing. And when I'm writing these things, again, it is not in that depth, but I will try to explain what does it do. So, okay, there are some three things like AST, SSA, and CFG. I try to prefer avoiding this TLS. TLS basically means three-letter abbreviations, but still, like, I will tell in detail. So AST stands for Abstract Syntax Tree. So anyone who is using JavaScript and probably who is giving JavaScript interviews probably had read about this, right? What Abstract Syntax Tree does. So basically, when your JavaScript code compiles and it uses the just-in-time compilation, in that case, we parse the JavaScript code before the compilation, and it creates a tree structure. It creates a tree for every variables, for every function. It creates some tree-like structure, and it's called the abstract syntax tree. So also in React compiler, the first step is to create this AST, and then we move towards the next step. So second step is the SSA, or the single static assignment. So you know that the mutation problem is there. So in JavaScript, like the in practice of the JavaScript, it creates like several references, or several times it assigns the same variable during different re-renders, or different re-renders, you can say. So what SSA does is it eliminates that thing, and it creates one assignment rule. So suppose during re-render phases, it has to create like different versions of it. It will name it like differently. So if you see, like I don't have it right here. So if you see the AST and the SSA created when the compiler process it, so you will see that it creates, suppose the variable name is right? Like suppose the variable name is ABC. So in the next step, it will create ABC1, ABC2 like that. It creates different versions of it. And after this SSA is created, it goes to the next step. This is called CFG or the control flow graph. So everyone is coming from this programming background, I believe. So everyone knows about control flows. Control flow is basically like whatever you use in your code, like if else, loops, return statements, all these things. And so when you write all these things in your code, there could be different possibilities, right? When this if statement happens, your code will flow through one direction. If the else happens, your code will flow through different direction. So in that case, this React compiler processes all the possibilities, and along with the help of AST and SSA, it creates a good mapping, a good graph, basically which helps you in the caching strategy. Just checking if anything I missed. No, this is fine. And so we are going to the next flow. So we know like how does it cache and what is the caching strategy and why to use it. I told you different ways are there to use it, different possibilities are there to use it, different use cases are there to use it. But when you don't want to use it, suppose you are creating a new application, there is no, possibly there is no way that you cannot use it. You can use it obviously when you are creating a new project. But when you have a large project, we want to migrate those things as well, right? There is a process called migrations. So in case of migrations, you need to be a bit careful while using React compiler. Again, if it breaks the React rules. So React rules says you don't mutate props manually, right? So if your code has to mutate props manually, in those cases, if you use React compiler, it won't work. Probably it won't give you errors. Probably it won't. You won't notice it. But your code actually, if you open the DevTools, you will see that your component is not memoized. That memo and the sparkling sign, it won't show up because if you are breaking the React rules, it will just let it re-render. Or again, like if you are working on legacy or and hack-heavy code means like suppose for every component, like what React refuses us to say, that refuses us to work on, like suppose you are using refs a lot of times. In that case also, okay, sorry. In that case also, it won't optimize the code. And again, suppose you are building an NPM package, and the NPM package you are building with, most probably you are building with React compiler, but the code that is consuming it, they are not following the React compiler strategies. So it won't work there, right? So in 3 of these cases, probably there are more, but in 3 of the most use cases that you can't use React compiler, and you should not use React compiler. Okay, the adoption roadmap is pretty straightforward. You need to use one ESLint plugin that is called ESLint plugin React compiler to catch the existing bugs where you need to use it, where there are scopes to use React compiler. Then you do a readiness check. It's called React compiler health check. It's an npx script. You just run it, and it will show you some percentage values. You can check that, and if the value is more than 80% or so, you can go forward with the migration. And again, there are like, you can do it folder by folder, like there are, if you are using Vite or Next.js, so there will be config files, right? In config files, you can target specific folders that is there. And at the end of it, you can just try to reduce, like you will see that your code is somehow migrated with your code is somehow optimized with React compiler. Then you just gradually remove use memo or use callback or anything that you don't want to use. Okay, AI safety, it's not very in detail, but I think when you just prompt your React code down, you don't focus on optimizations, right? And even if you do, how many times have you seen that it uses React compiler by default? It doesn't. Like, it doesn't, as of now, it doesn't. So in that case, like, you can choose to use it or you can just let it avoid it. So the first point I will write is like LLMs are fast, right? But it actually hallucinates. If you try to optimize it, like if you give a specific code and if you try to say that optimize this part, high chances are that it won't recommend you React compiler. It will just do use memo and other dependency array things and other ways of optimizing it, but it won't use most probably it won't use React compiler if you don't specifically mention it. And again, so if you use React compiler and you just type, just do this process with React compiler, let it just do it. Let the AI do the automatic way of using React. Just let it be with the process of re-renders and all, so that it won't break in the way of developing or generating the code. So it won't break along the way. So you can be rest assured that okay, my code re-renders, but it doesn't break when it just gets to production. And even if you do that, sometimes when your code is not heavily nested or heavily dependent on different things, then it probably bails out things like it probably just refuse to use this React compiler. It will just use the normal way of the idiomatic way of using React. Okay, that was it. I think you can scan it if you want to. And if you have any questions, I would just like to have them. I think this is the time you can ask me anything about JavaScript, anything about React, or anything about optimization if you want to talk, you want to ask. I can take that offline. I think this is a new topic for most of you because a lot of you must be from first year or second year and you don't want to optimize this thing, but this helps along the way. Even if you suppose you are creating a project for your hackathon or any project purpose, and if you mention these points that your code is somehow optimized, if not the fully, then it might add some benefit like from others, right? It might give you a strong hand ahead. So if there is no questions, I believe you should have, but it's probably just passed over your head if I don't know. But if you have any questions, you can ask me anyway. I will be here through the day. Okay, that was it. Thank you. You don't have any questions, so this slide. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Shayok. That was such an in-depth session. I think everyone in the room can vouch with me for that. So yes, I think we all learned a lot, right? Yes? I cannot hear again. Again, no. Please, have we learned anything from this session? He has taken a long session of 30 minutes. Yes, right? From the front, nobody can hear you. It needs to be loud. Have you learned? Yes. Yes, that's the vibe. So yes, I think we have learned quite a lot. And many of them was looking at the back, was feeling maybe a bit sleepy. And it's, I think, the best time to have a quiz to wake all of you up. So, ready for the quiz? And play well, again I'm saying, because there is some good amount of chance of winning some good goodies from our side. So yes, we are ready for the quiz, I guess then.
How was it? Good for students?
Right, Arundam?
Okay, yeah. I'm ready, I guess.
I know, but আমি তাও অনেক কিছু বাদ দিয়েছি, সিম বোর্ড বাদ দিয়েছি।
আমি বলবো তুমি যদি একটু বাংলায় বলতে না লোকজন এক্সপ্লেন করতে এটা তুমি যেই রকম ভাবে টক দিয়েছো না এক্স্যাক্টলি আমার সেই স্ট্র্যাটেজি বেস করেছি
After all these great talks, I got a chance to be here.
অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমার এটা ফার্স্ট ইম্প্রেশন অফ কলকাতা, আমি যেগুলো দিই আমি সব ব্যাঙ্গালোরে দিয়েছি। এবার ব্যাঙ্গালোরের রেশিওটা উল্টো হয়, 70-80% প্রফেশনাল, 20% স্টুডেন্ট কম থাকে। তো ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে ব্যাঙ্গালোরে যখন কোয়েশ্চেন কেউ করে না, আমি অনেক কিছু শিখতে পারি সেখান থেকে। হ্যাঁ, তুমি জানো সেগুলো ওরা শেয়ার করে দিচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ, তোমাকে বেস লাইনে বুঝতে
আমার এটা রিঅ্যাক্ট মোবাইলের লোক রিঅ্যাক্ট কলকাতায় এসে ওখানে গিয়ে আমাকে কোয়েশ্চেন করছে একটা ভিপি অফ ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং আইসিআইসিআই পোটেনশিয়াল। আমার তখন আমার পেটে গেছে উল্টো আনসার জানি না। ক্যান ইউ টেক দিস কোয়েশ্চেন আউটসাইড দ্য রুম?
Time to start the quiz. Yeah, here we go. So, everyone, you can scan the QRs. You have the QRs on the TVs as well in the back. So you can scan there. If you cannot scan it, you can use this code. Go to Slido and You can just put this code and you can join and let me know when you are done with it. I will give you 1 minute to join. And yeah. By the way, just wanted to know how many of you are first time attending the React Kolkata offline meetup? Okay, that's a huge number. Okay, awesome. So I hope you are having a good time, and I hope this is the first quiz you are attending in React, so React Kolkata. So I hope you will get some fun here. So anyone left?
নেটের প্রবলেম আছে নেটের ইস্যু
Anyone left? Still doing? Okay. Okay. Okay, let's wait for a few. Let's move this.
ভাই এটা এখন এতক্ষণ চালালে কত পার্সেন্ট হয়ে এতক্ষণ চালাচ্ছে কত 80% থেকে 74 80% না
ওর স্ক্রিন অপটিমাইজড আছে
মোবাইলের
So we can see the names here.
আমরা করতে পারি
Oh, we have React Kolkata. We are joining from React Kolkata. Nice. Let's keep it in the center. Looks good here.
I want to know who has answered local.
Yes.
Server side, এগুলো কি?
Anyone who wants to raise your hand for
নিনজা হাতে
Okay. We have Techno India, GIS College. I can see Shiliguri is there.
Seat.
Techno
Yes.
Kolkata India.
Just to interrupt for a moment. So whoever is having some internet issues in this side, at that side they are like getting the network. So you can go that side and do the quiz and then come back and
প্রাইস
visit it.
কেচি হয়
That you can do.
প্রাইস কেচি হয় নিচে সঞ্জয় কাজ
So if you
promote
want,
করছে
you
নিজের
can
নাইস ওয়ে টু
move
প্রমোট
from your seat. Yeah, I think you can resume.
Anyone left? Please.
স্টুডেন্টদের বোঝানো
We can start. We have 150 people.
না
Okay, we have 152. There is still 20 people missing out here. I expect a fierce competition.
আর
this time.
স্টুডেন্টদের সাথে কথা বলে বাংলাতে
Okay, I see someone from Bharat.
পরের বার গেলে
অ্যাকচুয়ালি আমি এটা ফিডব্যাক নিলাম বাংলাতে বলবো এবার
হ্যাঁ
Okay,
আমি ওই
so we are good to go.
ফার্স্টে জিজ্ঞেস করলাম
We are good.
অসুবিধা
আরে আমি
Anyone left?
আমি তো রিয়াক্টরে জলদি করে প্লেয়ার টেকনো বেঙ্গলি
ওটা বোধহয় সেই বাটানো
Okay, I guess we can start.
এটা তো ইয়ে দিকে
তোমার ফিউচার ছিল না সেই সোনার
Wi-Fi.
গেছি ওখানে
এক্সপায়ার ছিল না
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
Sorry for this time.
ওই আমাদের অ্যানুয়াল হ্যাকাথন
আমি গেছিলাম নারুদা গেছিল আরও সবাই গেছিলাম বেশ ভালো
ভালো
By the way, this
ভালো
is a
মানে
good frame to
ক্যাম্পাসটা নেই
capture.
ওঠার কিছু ছোট তিনটে বিল্ডিং আছে শুধু
মাঝখানে মাঠটা খুব অদ্ভুত টাইপের দেখতে
মাঠ কোথায় ওটা তো বাস্কেটবল গ্রাউন্ড একটা
আরে ওই আর কি মানে ওটাই তো খেলার জায়গা আর কিছু নেই জায়গা
Anyone in the
আচ্ছা
back?
পিছনে আরেকটা ছোট মাঠ আছে
I will
ওটা
just
তো
start
just
20 seconds.
ওটা দেখেছিস ও আচ্ছা ইউএম তুমি যাইনি ইউএম
ক্যাম্পাসের নামে একটা বাড়ি
কেন বিপি করতে গেছিস ওটা সোসাইটির মধ্যে বিল্ডিং করে দিয়েছে
পুরো রেসিডেন্সিয়াল ব্লকের
হ্যাঁ
মাঝখানে
হ্যাঁ সেটাই ভালো ক্যাম্পাস টেকনো মেনে ভালো ক্যাম্পাস ওদের মাঝে
Okay,
বড়
so
মাঠ
I
আছে
guess I see 172 people. Most of them has
এসএনইউ
joined.
হ্যাঁ গেছি ওটা তো খুব বিশাল বড় ক্যাম্পাস
খালি জায়গা
অনেকখানি
Okay, so
সিনেমা
tell
ওখানে
us
সিরিয়াল
about,
ফিল্মে সব শুট করা
if you are a working professional or student, you can just vote here. So everyone is joining. Let's just get this thing done. Okay. Okay.
Work React by 80% students.
So let's try to get this meetup.
আমিও করছি দেখছি নলেজ চেক করছি
90% of them are students.
अरे meetup.com में चले जाना
Let's see.
लैपटॉप भाई এরা নাকি ভাই পেপার অ্যান্সার দিয়ে চলে যে উই আর কিপিং ইন মাইন্ড 80% ওয়ার্কিং প্রফেশনাল কি হয়েছে স্টুডেন্ট 79
80% দেন 80% স্টুডেন্টই ছিল
Okay. Awesome. So let's move to our main quiz. Everyone is ready, right? Okay. So I will just quickly give you the rules.
ওই কার একটা ইউজ করছিল সে বন্ধ করে দিল ওটা
First time we'll have 10
কার একটা ওয়াইফাই
questions
ইউজ করছিল
and
কার
for
ওই জন্য
each
সে বন্ধ
question
করে
you have
দিয়েছে
20 seconds
কি বলবো আর
and it will be fastest finger and you need to answer it correctly, of course. So I will show the questions here. You will also get them on your phones. And now we'll start. Okay. Okay, you can join the quiz here. Yeah, that's why I kept it. Just quickly join it. We'll wait.
আচ্ছা বাবা আবার
until
জয়েন
we get
করতে
on the
হচ্ছে
70 people here.
হ্যাঁ না নাম দিয়ে জয়েন করা যায়
Don't join with this name. I mean, we are really thankful to Miro for sponsoring this event, but I mean, it will be very hard to, prize Miro. I genuinely want to give them a prize, but yeah, it will be hard to detect who is this person.
ট্যাঙ্ক কমিউনিটার এটা কার নাম রে ভাই
কি দিয়েছে কোথায়
Okay. Let's wait for 15 more seconds.
অনেক লোক এসেছে তো 153 জয়েন করে গেছে মানে তো বিশাল লোক এসেছে তাই তো দেখছি অনেক লোক এসে গেছে সব কলেজ থেকে স্টুডেন্ট ধরে নিয়ে এসেছে নাকি 70% টাকা ফ্রি ইভেন্টে
ওইরকমই হয়
10 more people.
না ভাই এত হয় না
আর কমই
25-30% ম্যাক্সিমাম হয়
আমাকে একটু একবার পুরো ফুল ওয়ার্কিং প্রফেশনাল
সোয়াগও বলেছে নাকি কিছু দেবে কেস করেছে হ্যাঁ ভালো হয়েছে ওটাই ভালো হয়েছে
Ready, right? 161. So let's start. Cannot wait to have time friends.
আছে না এই জন্য আপনি বেশি
কেস করেছে
Anyone left? Raise your hand just quickly. Just 5 seconds. You can still scan the QR code if you are not able to join.
আমার নামটা কত
Yeah.
বিশাল টাকা বেশি হয়
Okay. So let's start.
তুমি জয়েন করে
হ্যাঁ
কই
ওই তো ডান দিকে
3,
রয়েছে
2, 1. Here we go. The first question.
আমি দেখতে
What is
পাচ্ছি
the main purpose of React compiler? I have to keep it in the topic to start with.
এটা যদি
So
আমি
we have
বলতে
so we'll just quickly say the options. Replace React with a new framework, automatically optimize React code, compile JavaScript into WebAssembly, replace the browser DOM. We'll see who has actually went through. Okay.
কেস করেছে ভাই এত লোক ভুল হয়েছে
Automatically
ভাই
optimize React code.
এই আধার তো
let's
বোঝেইনি
see.
ভাই আধার তো
Okay,
বোঝেইনি
58% of them were attentive. We can see.
মানে বলার পরেও তো বোঝেনি আধার লোক
Okay, now let's go to
Sunni
the
rahe, sunni
next
rahe.
question.
কে এটাই তো কানেক্ট
Everyone,
অটোমেটিক্যালি অপটিমাইজ রিঅ্যাক্ট কোড
fine.
রিপ্লেস দ্য ব্রাউজার
Next question. Which of these is primarily used to describe what is the UI should look like in React? Okay. I think everyone should answer this one. If you cannot, then you need to go back and watch some or read through the docs properly. Okay. Okay. We have one person of these people who said servers. I just want to know who is this guy. You guys are Oh, okay. Who is WebSocket person? Okay. So at least no one voted for database. That's a good thing.
এই করছিল
I was about to
Okay. Here we go. So 92 of them are correct. Next question is React is mainly known as a library for building what? I think I don't need to give any hints, right?
ReactJS
You can definitely use this one.
Nice.
This is the correct answer.
ReactJS
আছে ভাই
আছে নাকি
হ্যাঁ
কে বানিয়েছে
আছে রিঅ্যাক্ট
কে বানিয়েছে ভাই সুপ্রভাতের মধ্যে কিছু হবে
Special shout out to these 2% for trusting me. But I am not that good guy, sorry. Okay. So yeah, here we go. Now time for the fourth question. What is token in the context of an LLM? Yeah, we need to add some AI stuff, right? You cannot keep everything with JavaScript. Right? A lot of you love to play around with LLMs. So I think you should answer it correctly.
GPU instruction.
জিপি ইনস্ট্রাকশনটা
Okay, let's see.
দেখ দিয়েছে GPU instruction.
Majority of
কে দিয়েছে এটা
people are bored
দিয়েছে
with
আমি দিইনি।
and that's a correct one. Great work. So I can see that the majority of our audience are going in the correct direction. And for the rest, 2-3%, I don't know what they are doing. The next question is, in React, what generally happens when a compiler, when a component state changes?
ব্রাউজার রিস্টার্ট অপশনগুলো দিয়েছে মাইরি ভাই ব্রাউজার ও সরি সরি সরি
লাগে এটাতেই লাগিয়ে দেবো বেটার বেটার
Okay, awesome. So again, we have majority voting for the option B. And that's the correct answer. Awesome work, folks. Next question is, why is understanding React's rules still important even when using the React compiler? We have the compiler replaces the React knowledge completely. Incorrect assumptions about component behavior can still lead to incorrect code. The compiler only works with CSS. The React compiler removes the state management. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Who is this one person who is still okay? Now we know. Okay, and that's the correct answer. Okay, 86 of them were attentive. Awesome. Okay, what is the biggest difference between a traditional chatbot and a coding agent? I guess everyone uses coding agent, right? So you should be able to know what's the difference between a chatbot like ChatGPT and a coding agent like Claude Code or Cursor, right? I just gave you a hint. So okay, the chatbots cannot generate code. Okay, I mean, have you ever tried asking ChatGPT to give you a code? No one tried. Okay, this 4% I guess haven't tried it. That's fair. Okay, so that's the correct answer. The agents can take actions and work through multi-step tasks. Cool. We are almost towards our end of the quiz. We have 3 more questions. Be attentive, and we'll show the leaderboard afterwards. Okay. In typical React app, what happens when a component state changes? The computer restarts, the React schedules an update, and the UI can re-render. The database is automatically deleted. The browser closes. I mean, folks, I need some appreciation from you guys. I have kept the options so hard, you know. It should be very hard to understand what is the answer. Right. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, of course. We have to get this one. Okay, now time to be serious. It will not be easy every time. Okay. What is the fastest way to fix a production merge conflict during a live demo? Okay, I've been there a lot of times. I guess calmly explain that's a non-deterministic feature. Yeah. And then, okay, run git push force and blame the venue's Wi-Fi. I guess this is a bit relatable today, but okay, then delete node modules and pray to the demo gods. I guess we all have done that. And then both B and C. Okay. Okay, then we have a fair share. This was a fun one. Let's see. This was a fun one. This was nothing related to the tech. So, yeah, don't blame me. I just need to shuffle the leaderboards, right? So this was the question to shuffle the leaderboards. No worries. A lot of them got it wrong. Now the final question. This time, let's see. What is the biggest front-end challenge when streaming a token by token as LLM output? React cannot display plain text strings, frequent re-renders causing frame drops if the state updates aren't handled smoothly, Markdown can only be passed on a server, browsers block streaming HTTP responses by default. Okay, we got 90% of them saying option B. Okay, and that's the correct answer. Awesome. So we have done our 10 questions. Now it's time to show the leaderboard. Before that, who all are confident that they can be in the top 3? You will be there. You will be there from the bottom. No worries. Anyone else confident enough? No one. Okay. Fair. Let's see. Let's see the leaderboard. Okay. So the first prize goes to Pradipta Roy. We'll just take a picture of this. Then we have Rashmi Tiwari, then Shuman Singha, then Shomadip De, then Shubha Sasmal. Awesome. Give a big round of applause for all of them. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, that was it for this quiz. Now we will move towards our next session. So I will hand over this to Shlognadi. Awesome. Okay, I can just switch this. Okay, sure.
You just start. Hello. So guys, have fun? Did you have fun? Yes. Still I'm not getting the vibe. So, did you enjoy the quiz? Yes, right? Okay, I think this sound system is going to give me a heart attack very soon. So, okay, let's move forward. And congratulations, Pradipta, for winning the quiz. And yes, there will be a special gift for you waiting at the very end of the session. And I will not take a lot of time. I will quickly welcome our guest speaker. She is a front-end architect at MyCom with 17 years of experience in UI, UX, in accessibility and performance. And she's just not that, it ends here. She has been a part of multiple international conferences, very prestigious, like CityJS London, CityJS Delhi, and also React India, and many more conferences. So I will quickly ask Aparajita to come up on the stage, and she is here. And yes, let's learn a lot from her.
Can I get the other mic? Hello? It isn't another one. This is another one. It is. Yes. Oh God. Yeah, just put it in here. Yes. There is a live streaming happening. ठीक है. Connect हो गया ना? All good, I guess.
Thank you.
Hello. I hope I'm audible to you all. Am I audible to you all back there? I suppose yes. All right, I'll quickly introduce myself before we start with the session. I'm Aprajita Verma. I'm a front-end architect. I have around 17 years of experience. I have been quite framework agnostic and do not stick to any framework. Is it still not audible? I mean, okay. I can't put it even further. All right. For the last 1 year, I have been quite, you know, being all over the places in different conferences, meetups, or hackathons. And before I start the session, I do want to give a big shout out to Tapas. Because last year, when I was just starting it all, I got an opportunity to give a talk in React Kolkata online edition. I got introduced to Tapas by then. So when he called me to come for the offline meetup, there was a no-brainer. I immediately said yes. And there is a very important point that I want to put forward to you guys is that when you come to a meetup, when you come to a community, events, the most important part of it is to network with each other. Most important part is to actually have a discussion, open discussion with fellow speakers, or there are 25% around working professional here, but there are a lot of students, so you get to understand their perspective if you talk to them. So do not just stick to the sessions, have a discussion among yourself as well. Now, as I mentioned that I'm quite framework agnostic, and I don't know why this happened. I have been to some conferences where all the talks are about AI, and I end up talking about very core JavaScript topic there. And here, all the topics were related to React, and I ended up taking a topic which is actually AI related. This is coming from experience. This is not something which is coming from, the book knowledge. And this is coming from a place that whenever I am on podium, I have given a talk about WebAssembly, WebSockets, or anything. The last question that is asked is that, job hai kya front end mein? So this is one of the most important questions that everybody have in their mind. And believe me, this is the conversation I had with Tapas 1 year back. We did a podcast, and that was the topic. And when I say that 17 years of experience, guys, you were probably toddler when we started working. And we have seen it all. We have seen different framework, different library, different ways of doing development. And pata hai, every couple of years we get to hear that front-end development is dead. JavaScript is dead. Pata nahi, this is the most resilient zombie that I have seen throughout my career, that it keeps on resurrecting back. So it's not dead. The way we develop changes, and we adapt accordingly. Now, here I'm going to talk about architecturing an AI native front-end engineering stack. This is something that will reach to you after staying in this industry for a while. When you'll find yourself inside the boardrooms, when you'll find with the people who are actually making policies regarding your tech stack, regarding where the company is heading toward. I don't know, यहाँ पे जो working professionals हैं, have they encountered this or not, that 2 साल पहले, all of a sudden we were told, AI is there. कितनी productivity gain है, कितना return of investment है. I'm giving you this AI tool. What does it mean? Do you not require any developer anymore? Can you do everything automatically? Can agents do everything? By raise of hand, I'll just say one term, and I just want to know that if you have heard of it or not. Multi-AI agent orchestration. Have you heard of this? So when we talk about multi-AI agent orchestration, what does it mean? Does it mean that there is no requirement of developers anymore at all? And this question comes a lot when we talk about front-end development. There is a reason behind it. So first of all, we will, okay, all right. So this is just a small example why I choose to have this talk to you. Every morning when you go and write a prompt, use your AI, whatsoever tool that you are using. And when you write a prompt, when you say the same ticket, same problem statement, and if it is giving you two different kind of output, that is a problem. By the end of this talk, you should be able to know how to solve this problem. When we say that create a badge, and if you do not provide any context at all, your AI agent can create a badge based upon its own understanding. But if you give a proper context, when you streamline it with the right tools, then it will be always accurate. So just keep this in your mind, it will come back afterward. What we are going to cover would be why frontend and why now. I would not have given this talk 1 year back, but now is the time when we are actually addressing this question that is AI efficient to do front-end development as much as it is projected? We will talk about the AI coding spectrum. I'll refer to some of the studies. I'm a hardcore nerd, I'm sorry to say that. I do research in mathematics. Everything should be backed with some data, with some research papers behind it. So we will talk about that. We will refer to some of the papers which have been published a couple of years back, last year and this year also. So we will try to see that where we are at the AI coding spectrum. We will talk about the engineering prerequisite as well. My manager, I'm currently working in a company for last 8 years. So my manager has been there for the last 8 years. I have thrived under his guidance. But last year when he asked me that, okay, you have this AI tool now, can you just assure me that everything can be done, 90% faster? If a story was supposed to take 1 sprint, can you assure me that it will take only 1 day? So despite having a very pragmatic manager, even he has asked me. Now, but then there is the engineering prerequisite which is required to reach there. If it is not there, even God can't come and make that happen. So we will talk about that. We will talk about where the maturity models actually agree, and we will talk about a little bit about the 4 layers, stack that you can keep in your mind when you are doing it. All right. So I think 3 months back, my manager sent me a paper. He said that front-end development is the area which is considered to be the most AI, agent shaped. And this is not a random guy who is claiming that. How many of you have heard of Andrew Ng? He's a big name, you should follow him. He claimed that front-end development is one of the area which could be done through AI agents quite easily. But what is the reason behind it? Me as a front-end architect, I would immediately say that no, this does not make sense. You are not considering all the, if you think that front-end development is only creating components, that's not true. It's just the functional part of it. It's the non-functional part that you have to worry about. The architecture of your application, the maintenance of so-called legacy application. I heard one of my previous speakers said that you have created React application using any AI tool. How many of you have created React application without any AI tool? And do you think that industry only have React application which are with AI tool? We have applications which are going on for last 10 years, 20 years, and they are generating millions of dollars of revenue. So it's not that we are always working in greenfield projects. They are not legacy. We are still adding features inside it. So I'll not even call them legacy, but they are applications which are mature and we are still adding, features and layers on top of it. So there is not only the functional requirement. You have to worry about the usability. You have to worry about accessibility. You have to worry about scalability of your application. The applications grows very fast when you are actually creating an enterprise application. You have to worry about performance all the time. Then, when you have reached to that place, you absolutely do not care about how does the button look like. You have to care about when your application is running in middle of a very high profile event, make sure that if there is a huge amount of data comes to your application, it still works. Now, Why do we say that front-end is actually agent-shaped? How many of you are using Claude? Have you used the feature of Claude client which has a browser with it? Your agent can immediately get a visual feedback. Front end is when as soon as you are doing any changes, and we have been doing that. That is the reason hot replacement is so important, right? Immediately if you make any changes, me as a developer should be able to see what are the changes. Now the agent can also do that. Every task comes pre-sized. Whenever you say that I'm creating a component, you already know what are the native things which are going to go inside it. You can define something called as a design system, right? And every decision, everything that you are creating would be on the basis of that design system. You are not going to reinvent the button again and again, right? You are not going to reinvent the card that you see again and again. So the design system is always going to be at place. How many of you have tried to create a storybook for your personal project? Do you know what is a storybook? You need to know what is a storybook. That is like ABC of doing design system. Imagine that you have a storybook which lists all the components that is possibly can be used inside your application. You have provided a way through which each component, all the props, all the parameters that you can have inside one place. We refer to it storybook. Earlier we used to call it kitchen sink. Every time you want to add a new feature inside your application, you don't have to explain it. You simply can refer to the storybook, and this component is required. And it will be able to understand that. So front-end development works in that manner. You have ingredients which are already provided. Nobody is going to create a new button. Believe me when I say this thing. There are a handful of user interactions that you can do. The spec already existed, as I mentioned. You already have the design token. You already have component prop. You have a storybook. If you have not, there were very few hands that rose up. Please make sure that you do understand this concept. And what we do in practice is the agent writes, renders in the browser, it screenshots the diff. Many a time, we do it through a headless browser. I like to have a headed browser so that I can actually see what is happening. I'm still not very trusting on an AI. I need to see what is going on. And then after that, it defines whether it is pass or fail. TDD, how many, you understand when I say TDD? Kya hai TDD? Test-driven development. So what happens in TDD? You first of all write, yeah, please if you can.
Yeah, so in TDD, you first of all write the test, and using the test itself, you add any feature, and your source of truth is always your test.
Yes. In fact, some of multi-agent orchestration tools like Superpowers, if you have heard, Superpowers is a Claude skill which is very good. They use TDD in this manner is that they first of all write the test, and all the tests should fail. And as you add features, those tests should start passing. So that's the actual TDD. It's not like that you have written, random assertions inside it. No, you make sure that the tests are failing, and then after that, it starts passing as you are adding feature. So in practice, this is very much possible using agents. That is the reason why people like Andrew Ng say that one of the area where AI can actually support us a lot is front-end development. Now, a little bit more, just a quick go through this. Again, why we think it is AI native. We have very sub-second feedback loop. This is so important, I can't even. All of you must have worked in React. Have you worked in Angular? Okay. Have you worked in EXTJS? Have you heard of EXTJS? Have you worked in GWT? Only one hand will rise here. That's Tapas. Okay, you have also. So GWT is a UI development framework given by Google, by the way. So no disrespect. given by Google a UI development framework where you write your code in Java, because the backend developer just can't understand JavaScript. So we have to, somehow, make their ego feel nice. So they came up with a whole framework where you write your code in Java, get compiled, converted into JavaScript, because you know what, your browser understands only 3 things. What are the 3 things it understands? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and some peripheral things around it. We have to be careful because your browser is, moving a little away from all these 3 things. So I work in an organization, old organization. The most revenue generating project we have is in GWT. Okay? My manager wants that I do all of its development using AI agent. After you make a change inside it, it's Java. It compiles. It takes 2 minutes to finish the compilation. And you are asking me that, oh, why the development is not fast? What can I do? Like, I can't just go and say Java. Don't do it. Do it faster. It's not possible. Now, that is the reason one of the most important things that you might have to do, if it is possible, is going to optimize your hot replacement. CRA is not there anymore. Is anybody still using CRA? Has anybody used CRA? Some hands are there. And have you migrated to Wheat yet? Can you tell me what was the difference, the fastness? It was literally that it used to feel fast in CRA also, but now it feels like rocket fast, and that's exactly what your AI agent is looking for, right? That it should be so fast that it can be able to complete the compilation, go and see the feedback. React, we are using typed component contracts. Most of our errors can be handled during the compile time itself. Your agents are capable of doing that. If it was JavaScript, it would have been tougher for us to do that. JavaScript degrades gracefully. It does not break anything. It will try to degrade gracefully and move on, whereas TypeScript does not do that. You will always have a documented component library if you are working in enterprise. If you are having a, if you are doing just a side project, then probably it's not needed. But if you have 10 projects in your portfolio, for a company, they need to be a documented, design library. You have design token as a single source. Are you guys interested in usability? Have you worked in UX? Have you heard of Figma? What does Figma do? It provides you mockups. And a question to you guys, what is the difference between a mockup and a prototype? Are they same? In fact, 3 terms: wireframe, mockups, and prototype. If you are interested in design, please make sure that you step back a little bit. If you are using Figma, Figma creates prototype. Step back a little bit, understand what is a mockup, and before that, understand what is a wireframe. Because when we design, we do not directly go and start talking about interactions. Prototypes is about you not only have the design, but you also know what is the interaction. You know what is the user journey going to be. And wireframe is one step even further. Wireframe is simply defining that, oh, these are the things that are going to be inside my UI. Mockup is, you know what are going to be in UI, you decide the components. Prototype is, you also add the user journey. You say that this is the interaction. So most of the time in bigger organizations or enterprises, you already have a design token as a single source. Everybody refer to the same one, so it's not going to be like different people have different understanding of what you are trying to build. And how it is very important for an AI. Do you know what is a PO and PLM, product owner and product lifecycle manager? PO, product owners. So when we come up with a product, it's the product owner who defines the spec. And the way they define the spec kills every development team. Because they'll give a very vague requirement to you, and it's up to you to, develop it further. AI will not work well in that kind of situation. So we talk a lot about now is a spec-driven development. So when you have specs in place, written in this manner that you can understand it, then your AI agent will be also able to understand it. And we do have a very typed AI contracts whenever this is another prerequisite. So what is happening in my organization is that now UI development is very fast. So we are done with the UI part of our feature, and the APIs are still not provided to us. So there is one more loop I have to do, right? I have to understand whether they are doing the DTO contracts based upon my requirement or not, and then do the integration, and then make sure that everything works end to end. So one of the layer, Andrew NG also suggests is that when you want very AI native front-end development is you should have a mock layer in between. So you do not have to wait for the backend contracts to be ready. You use this mock layer and then you bypass it. And we are using it very effectively now. Initially, it was a lot of friction.
Can you explain the last part?
Yeah?
The last part.
Which one?
The mock layer.
Yeah. So usually, what we are doing nowadays is that we are creating a facade between UI and backend. And in this facade has our DTO contracts in place. So we define the Swagger in the beginning itself so that we have the DTO contracts and we have mock data there. So we do not have to wait for backend developer to finish the APIs, do the PTO and business logic layer or connection to the databases. We deal with the mock layer directly. They keep on changing the mock layer APIs with the actual data. So I do not have to wait for that. So that's how we are working right now. Yeah.
The backend team decides the mock layer.
No, this is always going to be a discussion between backend and UI both. They cannot dictate it, neither can we. It's always going to be a discussion that this is how the facade should look like. One of the biggest reasons is that usually we do not create components from scratch, right? We use a lot of third party. So if I'm using a third party and it expects, suppose there is a grid, and it expects that if it is a page, searchable, grid, it should have data in this structure. So backend cannot dictate that, okay, this is the DTO and that's how you have to do it. And I cannot dictate that no, you go and change your database accordingly. So this discussion happens between both UI and backend team. Again, the spec-driven discussion, which defines the facade. It used to happen earlier also, but now this comes very early in the development itself. Hope it makes sense. Okay. Usually, when we talk about AI coding spectrum, there are 6 levels. Again, everything is backed by some of the research paper. I will share it with you guys. We have a static tooling. We have token completion. This everybody must be already doing. You are using linter, formatter, autocomplete. There is no real-time decision actually taken by your agent. You are just using some tools. Then there are block completion and intent-based chat agent. Most of the teams are actually at this place. So by raise of hand, how many of you are using Cursor? How many of you are using Claude? Codex? Where do you think you are? Are you at the block completion or intent-based chat agent? How are you using it? Block is that if you remember in Cursor, you can just go and select a part and give a context inside it and it will add the code inside it. And intent-based chat agent is that, prompting, basically you are providing the prompt, it is making the change. So do you find yourself at these 2 places? Are you doing block completion? Are you doing intent-based chat agent? Let's go to the next one. Do you have a local autonomous agent? Try to understand what I mean by that. Do you have an agent running in the background, maybe through an MCP server, that as soon as you have finished your code, an agent will review your code, push that code to your Git repository, monitor the build, and then after that it will merge it as well if everything is fine. But that is the last fifth level. But even for the local autonomous agent, not with multi-agent, not at all. But have you created any MCP server yet? Have you created any skill? Can somebody explain what is a skill? Yeah, please.
Skill is basically like whatever you do in a workflow, or probably you are giving a lot of prompts every time for a same kind of workflow. You can automate that using a skill.
Yes, and
you can use it like afterwards with more prompts if you need. Yeah.
So skill is a reusable automated part of your workflow that you have defined somewhere, and then whenever you are doing your development, you can invoke that skill and it will take care of it. For example, I'll give you an example. If you are working with your quality assurance team, QA team, they will write automation test cases on your UI, right? They will write automation test cases based upon the IDs that you have provided to different UI component. So earlier we used to scan through it and check that whether all the IDs are in place or not. Now we don't do that. We have a skill in place. We simply invoke that. It will understand that these line of codes has been changed, and it will check whether correct automation IDs has been provided or not. Skill can be also scheduled. Claude allow you that you can run skill in schedule or in loop as well. So you do not even have to be there. You can say that schedule this skill at this point of time, it will just go and run that and it will automate it. So when I say local autonomous agent, I also consider that this is not only that you are creating an agent by prompting, I'm also saying that you have created some skill, you are scheduling it if or when is needed. And the last one is fully autonomous dev agent. Devin का नाम सुना है आप लोगों ने? Devin is projected as what? It's not projected as a tool. It's not projected as a framework. It's projected as a software engineer. It's projected as a software engineer which can do your end-to-end work. It will be able to, you have provided a task to it, it can spawn multiple agents if or when required, it can finish a task from start to the end. Most of the time, you will not find teams who are at fully autonomous dev agent. We are also experimenting right now. Can you tell me what is the Google's tool for it? Anti-gravity to bachcha hai. Anti-gravity is still considered as a tool. Jules, have you heard of Jules? It is going to, this next year when we'll have this conversation, we will talk about these two. Because they are not being marketed as a tool, they are marketed as actually a part of your Scrum team. They are the engineers who will be able to do end-to-end. But we will see if they can do end-to-end or not. Okay, the expectation gap usually is that, and the demos which implied, and I want to, lot of developers here, lot of students here, I want to tell you one thing, a fact of our industry. When you see a tool or something new coming in market, and you will see a lot of marketing about it, and you will kind of have this fear that oh, does it mean that front-end development does not require, UI development does not require? Please know that just like social media influencer, there are tech influencers as well. And we are paid to market them. So at any point of time, I can be paid to market and say that this framework is dead. I can be paid and say that this is it. This is the holy grail of everything. So you have to be very careful about it, that who are you following? You have to be very careful about it also, that the narrative that you hear, do not get worried because of that. The base, if it is there, it will help you to be a good developer. We keep on referring to now is that we are not just a developer. It's like, it's a very weird thing if anybody say that a developer just go and write code. That's the smallest part of work that we do, is to write code. It's the engineering that we do, right? So believe me when I say this thing, if you have a good foundation, if you have a good understanding of how engineering, and when I say engineering, what does it mean? It's the problem solving skill. If you have that, then you are good. So do not worry about it. I have a pseudonym on Medium. I have like 50,000 follower there, and believe me, 2 years back I had declared that React is dead. In one of my meetings, somebody actually quoted my article to myself itself, and I said that, dude, I actually got paid to say that. So let's not do this. So be very aware about who are you following. That does not mean I'm not credible. I mean, that's going in wrong direction. But believe me when I say this thing, there is lot of tech influencers as well in the market. Okay, so the expectation gap is that the demo, usually when you see big names, I'll not quote their name, they also pay me. They say that you are at level 4 or 5, but the truth is that we are actually either at level 1 or 2. Many of us go to 3 or 4 also, but there are some problems there as well. Amazing fastness when I'm writing my code. You know, the features which used to take days, now I can do in minutes, and it's a fact that I'm able to do that. But then it kills a part of us as well. We used to have pride in writing very nice code. Believe me when I say this thing, if Tapas probably remember, there was nothing a bigger high than converting a 700 line of code into 70 line of code. That AI has kind of killed, but then still it does very fast coding for us. Then the build takes 6 minutes. Then the visual regression, AI can do that now very easily, automatically is happening. Then you are running an E2E suite, your test cases, which is taking 12 minutes. And then you are waiting for manual approval. This is another area which we have been talking a lot. So when we are asked that what is the productivity gain of using AI tool, it is right shifted. So we used to spend a lot of time writing code. Now we are doing a lot of code review. And man, I can't tell you the amount of garbage that it generates. So it's a manual approval that we have to do, and we have to, by the way, my chief architect said a very important point. He said that even if the code is generated by AI, it's your code. You can't blame it on AI when it breaks 2 a.m. in production and say that, oh, AI generated it. No, no, no. It's your code. So this part is still this part is still you that who owns. And finally, which is deployment, which is most of the time it is automatic. So if you see here, it does feel like we have gained, but there are stages which are still blocking it. Now, in an organization, have you heard about this? A lot of layoff is happening because they are doing AI restructuring, or they are providing AI infrastructure. This is what they are actually trying to fix. If this is not fixed, the gains that we are getting is not going to be actually that visible. And there is a very important data that I'll share with you guys here. 95% of organizations report no measurable return of interest on generative AI spend. Everybody is in this rat race. Everybody has this fear of missing out. Everybody is investing because we have no other choice. But 95%, and again, as I mentioned, not going to give any data without backing. So the source is quoted there. 95% of organizations have not received any positive return of investment. सारे लोग चैटबॉट्स बना रहे हैं यार. हम चैटबॉट्स 15 साल बाद भी बनाते थे if else statement लगा के. So you are not doing any rocket science there. If there is no requirement of chatbot, why we are doing it just because for the heck of it? Just because we have a technology does not mean that we have to put it inside your project. If it makes sense, then only. So please be very aware about this. 15% of organizations have already started to think about the AI impact, the decisions that they made, how they are impacting them. Last year, 17 ईयर का एक्सपीरियंस इसलिए बोलूँगी, डोंट टेक इट ऑफेंडेड. अ वेरी जूनियर डेवलपर विद 5 साल का एक्सपीरियंस. मुझे पता है कि 5 साल के जूनियर नहीं होते हैं, पर इन माई आइज दे आर जूनियर. Last year, one of my junior developer left organization, and believe me, I did not ask for his replacement because I was able to do his part of work using AI. This year, a senior resource with around 12 years of experience, she left, and believe me, we did give a try because it's fun to give it a try, but no, we are not able to replace her with AI. We do require her replacement. So please try to understand this. 15% of all, if it was last year, probably everybody would have agreed and would have said that, no, we don't require anymore, but we have started rethinking. And then there are 5 maturity level. There is a very nice study. I'll share the link with you guys. It's a good write-up with all the maturity level inside it. There are 5 maturity level. We are at level 3. Exploratory and future ready is still to come. You might have heard of this, that we have reached the play 2, right? हमें सबको पता था that the AI is going to come in industry, believe it or not. I do research in mathematics, so I was 100% aware that this was happening. But we were little taken aback by how fast it did. It was the speed that was actually wowing all of us. It was not that, oh, ये हो गया. ऐसा नहीं है. AI was there for a very long time. It's just the speed with which it came. But now we have kind of reached to a plateau. But we have reached to a plateau, and there is still couple of more steps left, which would be when we are in exploratory and future ready. So we have foundational, which most of us understand. बताओ कितने लोगों ने hello world लिखा है खुद से HTML में जाके? प्लीज लिख के देखना, 1-2 CSS लगा देना, तभी जाके बोलना कि आता है फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट. We all are constantly constantly checking what are the emerging technology. Age नहीं बताना चाहिए, but I'm in that age when I thought कि बस हो गया यार. But no, this is not true. Every day I'm waking up, I'm studying something new. And I'm like, up to ruko, but no. So you have to keep and watch of that. Then comes the operational part of it, which I just mentioned. Oh, आपने AI tool दे दिया, and your CI/CD is taking 20 minutes. Your review cycle is taking 30 minutes. You have a framework which do hot replacement in 5 minutes. So operational ke paas, a lot of us are stuck. Once it is done, which will take time, and when you hear the layoffs wala jo news, companies are investing in this area right now, so that this part is taken care of. Then we will have a scaled AI ecosystem. Developers would be required still then. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि there won't be any developer required at all. Then after that we will have a transformer, which is the next peak that we are referring to. After this play 2, we will reach to one more peak. All right. How much time I have, Samantha? Do I have? Okay. When we say AI native front-end stack, you should have a deterministic engineering. It's from bottom to top. You should have a deterministic engineering foundation. You have agent orchestration and the context behind it. You should have a generative AI surface. As I think one of our speakers were talking about this, कि एक AI agent है, उसको बस बता दो, वो खुद से जाके सब कुछ कर लेता है, right? Tapas, do you remember? There was a time जहाँ पे बहुत सारे ऐसे framework आए थे, जिसमें कि आप AI नहीं, मतलब UI बनाने के लिए drag and drop कर सकते थे. Believe me, वो drag and drop करना ही बहुत बड़ी बात होती है. So we will see that how good it is. But yeah, generative UI surface is already there. Andrew Ng actually defined it into 3 stages. It's a long discussion. I'll share the link with you. You will understand how it works. The final is the human review and governance. To quote my chief architect, kabhi we refer to him as God as well. The code written by AI is still your code. So don't come after 5 days and say, ये तो AI से generate हुआ था, तुम ही पकड़े जाओगे. और उसमें भी तुम ही पकड़े जाओगे तो उसमें जूनियर को नहीं पकड़ सकते हो, क्योंकि जूनियर को पता ही नहीं है कि वो क्या कर रहा है. वो तो बस कोड लिख के दे देंगे और आपके पास आ जाएगा, आप कोड रिव्यू करो, आप क्रॉस क्वेश्चन उनसे करो, एंड दे आर लाइक okay. I asked you because I want to share one anecdote with you. I was taking an interview of a fresher 1 year back, I think, or 2 years back. And usually in our interviews, we just check for problem solving skill, nothing else mattered to us. So I gave him a problem statement, and उस समय ChatGPT नया आया था. So I gave him a problem statement, and he was like little fidgety about it. I was like, तुम use कर सकते हो AI? I want to also see कि how comfortable you are with it. बंदे ने PDF पूरा का पूरा अपलोड कर दिया, ठीक है, कोड जनरेट हो गया, and then he was like showing it to me, see this is working and all, and I was like, do you really think this is right? You have a drop down with 200 element inside it. Like, how are you doing this? And you are using a ChatGPT का वो वाला मॉडल जो कि सिर्फ और सिर्फ कचरा करता है. And he had that look on his face, then he was like, you think you are smarter than AI, don't you? And I actually said that, you know what, in this case I am. Because believe me or not, this model that you are using is trained on my code. And I know how shitty engineer I was 10 years back. So believe me, this is not right what you are actually showing it to me. So, you know, the human review and governance still is very important. You guys coming here in this meetup, still talking about React fundamentals is very, very important. No AI can replace that. You are the one who are making the decisions. You are the one who need to know that कि हाँ एक React compiler नाम का कुछ होता भी है. AI doesn't care. वो 50 यूज मेमो लगा देगा और बोलेगा कि हो गया. So it's very important that you do understand the fundamentals. There is no running away from that. And you can call me old school, but I still believe कि अगर CSS नहीं लगाने आता तो फ्रंट एंड डेवलपर मत बोलना अपने आप को. कितने लोगों को यहाँ पे CSS नहीं अच्छा लगता? एक बोल दूंगी फ्लेक्स बॉक्स लगाने के लिए, सारे बोलेंगे कि आज से बैकएंड डेवलपर बन जाते हैं. Alright, I do also have a quiz, and I don't have Goody, but I can, you know, call from Blinkit. Let's see how many of you can answer this. So your manager says the team is using AI agent to build feature autonomously. Which level are you actually on? Do you think it is, obviously you are on level 5, you have multi-AI or agent orchestration, or you think you are level 2, which is glorified autocomplete with better marketing. You think that you are level 4, basically like level 3, 4 same ही है, उसमें हम लिखते हैं prompt यहाँ पे agent से लिखवा रहे हैं, और level negative -1 हम अभी भी सोच रहे हैं कि tab होगा या फिर space होगा जब हम कोड कर रहे होते हैं. How many of you are at -1 actually? AI एकदम ही use नहीं किया है. Good, I'm with you, the guy who raised his hand. What's the technical term for handling a level 5 agent, a code base which has 0 test inside it? Agile. ये जो term है ना, agile use किया जाता है.
Okay, whoever is participating in the quiz will get some swag from our side. Oh my.
I will give you swag if you are wrong, if you are completely wrong, because the answers are quite obvious actually. Agile is a term used by our PO, PLM and managers when they want us to do something. Agile is used as a term जहाँ पर जब engineering team ने आपको सब कुछ बता दिया है कि भाई इतना estimate लगेगा, इतना resource है, इतने दिन में होगा, and they will go and say that, but we are agile. So you have to do it. So you have to go and be the person and say this thing. You know what? If you have 9 women, they can't give birth in 1 month. That's basically agile. Or when you have this level 5 agent with a code base with 0 test, do we call it a vibe coding? How many of you are vibe coders here? I disown you. Or you call it a digital transformation, or it is a promotion for you because you have created an architecture with 0 test cases inside it. So you know what you are doing. you have created a perpetual dependency on yourself. निकाल ही नहीं सकते, right? Because एक line of code लिखा हुआ है कि इसको छूना भी मत और वो सिर्फ तुम्हें ही पता है कि इसको छूना क्यों नहीं है. No test cases. Your agent writes a component in 40 seconds. CI takes 18 minutes to check it. Who is the bottleneck here? I blame the intern all the time. The agent, obviously, the pipeline, or there is a Mercury retrograde. How many of you believe in that? मेरी बहन का तो हर चीज़ पे ये होता है. The Mercury was in retrograde. That is why I was being mean to you. But most of the time, it's the pipeline, right? It's not a mistake of the agent, right? The interns know nothing, so you can't blame him at all. And believe me, you all are going to go and work in corporate, right? Believe me when I say this thing, your seniors will never throw you under the bus. हमें ये पता होता है क्योंकि you have no accountability. हमें ये मालूम होता है अगर कोई भी ऐसा सीनियर मिल जाए जो ये बात नहीं समझता है तो उसको समझना चाहिए. We have the accountability. We have the accountability to finish a project. Interns are not. So blaming an intern is never going to be a good idea. Or all of you are going to be senior developer later on. Please don't be that guy. This is the study which I was actually referring to, which is CMU SEI. What's the first reason why AI adoption stalls in most of the organization? Is it not enough GPU? But he just said that. Why don't we connect all of our mobiles and devices and have enough GPU? Do you think that's the reason? Or we are skipping the engineering discipline, or too much adda, not enough shipping. मैं जब यहाँ पर आ रही थी, my husband has actually studied in Kolkata, and he kept referring to this term adda. He said that that's a thing here, you know, that काम जाए बाहर में ताले चलते थोड़ा, टपरी पे घूम कर आते, right? Or nobody take care of the Slack announcement. Your manager was telling you use AI, but you were not using it. It's most of the time, yeah, I think it's C, you know, have to. But yeah, it's the skipping the engineering discipline. If the processes are not followed, if they are not in place, and if you are just going by the hype, it's not going to work out. You are fixing the problem at one place and you are adding on the problem at another. There is a very nice usability law. It says that complexity of a system can be reduced up to only a certain extent. After that, the complexity is distributed. कोई भी सिस्टम होता है ना, उसका कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी आप एक लेवल तक ही कम कर सकते हो. उसके बाद the complexity is distributed. It's not reducing further at all. So many a time when you are creating a UI and when somebody say that, can you reduce the number of click? No. If you will reduce number of click after an extent, it will simply pass on the usability issue at certain other areas. So the processes need to be there. It's Tuesday, the badge looks different again. The first problem that we saw, that every day you come up and you give the same command to your AI, why it is behaving differently. What's the correct move? Blame the intern. Or you can add a global CSS, important. बहुत चलता है. And then you have a cascading important and then you're like, what is going on? Or you check your design token, or you quietly close the laptop and get coffee, the adda. I have done the fourth a lot. But sometimes things just work, you know. Why don't you restart your laptop again and it just works, right? Or you just simply say that it works on my machine, I don't care about yours. All right, so when I was working on this and when I realized that we are going to have a lot of students, we know the Gen Z and all, I know that you guys are not easily, you know, you're not going to easily agree on things, you know, you have a thought process. Believe me, it's us who created the ecosystem for you, and now you are saying that it's yours. Believe me, millennials are the one who brought all the good things, and you guys are actually, you know, using the benefits of it. I shut down my laptop at 4:30. Damn, 4:30. Nobody can make me work after that. And if they do, because I do have accountability, I do have the other part of it as well. It's not that my right is to close my laptop at 4:30, but also the accountability that the work has been completed. So if I'm working after 4:30, I'll crib about it so much that next time they'll not ask me to do that. Because if I am working after office hour, there is something wrong in the planning, right? You are making me do something which was not possible, and then you are asking me to do after that. So don't claim that it's you guys, it's us, we are the OGs, right? But in any case, I used a multi-agent orchestration just to go and do a background check of all the data points that I've added inside my slide. So it went on and it checked all the research which I'm mentioning. If you are nerd enough, if you want to go and check what's actually happening in AI, apart from the noise that you hear, आज मैं अगर एक कंपनी बना लूँ, अगर ऐसा कहीं से बहुत पैसा मिल जाए, तो मैं भी यही बोलूँगी सबसे अच्छी वही है. So cut that noise, go to actual academic researches and check that. This is also a very good idea that this is level 5, where I just respond multi-agent orchestration, asked it to go do the research and then finally provide me what is the output for it. And I found one of the mistake here. So they did a paper which I was referring, which was 2025. Now they have a new paper on 2026 where they have updated some of the maturity levels. Yeah, I completely believe that कि हर बार जब ये न्यूज़ आती है कि एक नया मॉडल आ गया एंड ये पता नहीं क्या कर पाएगा, अब वहाँ पर bottleneck नहीं रहा है. The existing models itself are very efficient, but the underlying engineering has to catch up. If you're a new organization, probably you will grow with it. For the organizations which are already generating millions and billions of dollars of revenue, they have to catch up. And I asked Claude to add my QR code, and I had consumed all my tokens. So this is my LinkedIn link. If you guys want to connect with me, feel free. And again, इतने बच्चों वाला अगर सेशन है तो एक डिस्क्लेमर मुझे देना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Please connect me on LinkedIn if there is anything related technical if you want to discuss. ये नहीं कि मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड बात नहीं कर रही है. Because this has happened with me कि भाई बंदी ने उसको सारे सोशल मीडिया पे ब्लॉक कर दिया और उसको पता था कि वो मुझे फॉलो करता है, तो मुझे फॉलो करती है, तो बंदा मुझे आके पिंग करके बोल रहा है मैम एक बार बात करा दो. सो इवन दो आई मे लुक लाइक कि मैं कर दूंगी, पर नहीं, टेक्निकल कुछ भी, प्लीज फील फ्री. Please use this opportunity to network. Please use this opportunity to scale up. You all have very, very, very bright future ahead. And I'm going to look up to most of you कि जब आप लोग मिलेनियर बन जाओ, मिलियन कमाने लगो, तो याद रखना. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something today. टाइम पे ज़्यादा हो गया? यार बता दे.
There is, and you also need this one. Also
To
need
be
this
clipped
one.
somewhere?
Yep,
Can
yep,
I clip
yep.
it here? I guess it will
Yes,
work.
you can.
Will it be okay if I clip it here?
As long as
Is it?
you be near. Okay, just do this. Do the setup.
Tell me, how much time can I spend in this one?
That is the problem.
It worked. It worked.
Almost right. First is the mic.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Just a minute, I will connect you. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Before I introduce anything, it's my very first time that I'm speaking at React Kolkata Meetup. So I would love to thank Krishnendu Dasgupta for this, because without him, I would have no idea that it is happening, because he was the very first person to come and tell me that, okay, it is happening, you can come, and I got to know this entire setup that is present here, which is awesome. Before I start off, I want to know if I can reach to the end. The blue shirt guy there, can you hear me? It's okay? It's coming there? Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So, firstly, hi from React itself, the mascot which I thought I would build last night. I really do not know what this is. And trust me, like, this is the best AI generated photo I have seen so far. So this is not created by me, and like, lovely seeing you. So let's start off with a short introduction of what we are. My name is Ayushman Bhattacharya. Thanks for the introduction to Shulagna. And what I am basically is that I would love to portray myself as a community member, nothing more than that. But in terms of profession, I'm working on Coordinations AI. I'm a maintainer, and I'm also a GitHub maintainer advisory. I'm just joined like 6 months back, and I am in open source ecosystem for a long time. And the ideation of today's talk had basically come from that particular extent only. Now, before I begin with the actual talk, I guess all are familiar with Bengali here, because we are in Kolkata. If it is not, then I cannot help. So, Bangla bolbo, majkhane English thakbe. I am not that fluent in Hindi maybe, so I won't try that. But it will be a mix of Bengali and English. So, without further ado, let us discuss the agenda and what exactly I will place forward. The problem which we faced in Pollinations when I had joined back 2 years back was that the entire platform was situated on being coded by agents. We have recently shifted to Codex, but before that we had got Copilot, we had got several other things. Now the problem that arises is the basic front end that we built for the people to come to the platform was in a very messy situation. And the very reason for that was using server-side rendering or the React server components. Now, why did I say this specific word? I will come to it. But when I came here, I found that there is a lot of problems with this. People were complaining that things are not working in the low-end devices. They are lagging out. It's causing a lot of like RAM usage on the browsers. And these were like several problems. And the worst problem that I had encountered with the people is that when they were supposed to create an account or log into the platform, they used to crash out. And the basic problem was that we used to display a lot of utilities, like how much tokens you have in the platform, how much free credits you have got. Those kind of things need DB, and the entire prop used to reload with lot of data. And devices like phones and the low-end devices used to crash up totally. Now there were a set of engineers who were set out to detect what is going wrong and what's happening out there. And trust me, I wasn't in the team, but I have the full deadlock book of that. And I had studied it of what has happened, because I work basically on the AI agentic part. And I didn't really debug that, but I have the logbook, and I really felt that when such a huge React workshop is happening, and since we were based on React, we are right now, we just shifted to the next framework a few years, like not years, I would say 1.2 years back. We had refactored the entire front-end side. Now we are in a better suit, but I guess it's good to talk upon the major dead book of what had happened. So, the agenda was, I would talk about a very familiar model that we all use. And from there, I will talk about the import boundary. Now, what a boundary is, you guys know, because most of you are React developers, you have seen through it. I would give a small evidence, take us to the transport boundary, then talk about how server function works, and then I will end it up. So what I will start off with is I will try to showcase two things if I can. The first thing is, if I can like put out my website. Okay, so yesterday I had this thought that I need to build something interesting, so I thought of buying Kolkata on EMI. And I have got two different sites I want to show you, or routes to be honest. And I want you guys to figure out if there is a basic difference in them. Number one, please put your eyes on the screen. This is the first one. Don't look at the inspect panel on the right side. This is the first side. The second one is on top of this. This is the one, the second one. I guess you have just seen that the site has changed just a bit because of the inspect panel, but nothing exactly changed, did it? I will click on this button, it will work. The second one also, like if I click on the button, it will work. Can you spot any difference in this one? Both of the sides, I will just quickly switch back to the top one. Beyond the inspect panel, I don't think something is changing. But if I kind of take a look at it, there were two wish lists, same UI, exact same behavior on how it works, but I did not think that you guys spotted any difference. And there is a subtle reason I had put that inspect panel on the right side. ডান দিকে ওটা ছিল, সবাই দেখেছে inspect panelটা খোলা ছিল। খোলার পেছনে একটা particular reason আছে। সেটাকে আমি পরে বলছি। But the basic thing is, when we use this RSC, we often overlook what's happening at the back. Nowadays, we use agents to code. Just now we had an amazing talk on how agents are taking over and we are trying to protect that boundary. What happens is, when even when we coded the coordinations website or the front end, it happened. It was totally a bytecoded thing. How we did change some text based on the component details, but that doesn't mean that we are putting forward the entire refactor of the code. So, যখন একটা particular জিনিস AI লিখছে, we do not really know what's in the optimization, and trust me, the review codes on the CI checks on GitHub do not do that. They are not responsible to find out কি হ্যাঁ কোথায় একটা বড় file inject হয়ে গেছে and আমি সেটাকে খুঁজে বার করব। So what happens is, the very thing which I had noticed is that you will see that there is a difference, and the wishlist number A, which is basically this side, if I am not wrong, yeah, this one, it has a very big difference. I don't know if you can see on the screen, you can like spot out on the monitors present there, but I will try to zoom it. Can you see this specific region? I have put my mouse pointer, it's written 2.03 kilobytes. If you can see it, give me a hand raise. Super, okay, you can see 2.03, remember that value. I will just shift to the slide below it, okay. There we go. 1.11, okay. What the hell happened right here? Something did happen, okay. I dropped somewhere around 941 bytes, I guess, yes, something around that. So, something was there, যেটা ঢুকেছিল ওখানে, the front end look exactly the same, okay. It will behave just like you intended to, but I did inject extra 941 in this front end side, which was on my client. My browser was entering it. Now, in practice, this won't affect you, because such a small site doesn't even care if there is a difference of 941, but in production, it's not 941. We inject what not. We use tons of things at a particular production site, tons of NPM things are coming in. You do NPM install, you do the client server boundary, and you get lots of third-party packages. Do you know what's the weight of that? We don't care. We don't sit to weigh them, because development time doesn't care about those kind of things, but they are present. So, what was the difference? I will try to put out my VS code if it is possible. Okay. So, I don't know how visible it is, because the font size is small to accommodate the entire code into a single snippet. I will maybe like do a Control+. Maybe that's better. These are the two source codes of that route which you just saw. I guess the left one and the right one is, the difference is quite visible. The right one is the one on the top, and the left one was the one which was bulky. Can anyone here who is a React developer tell me that what exactly was the reason behind that expansion that happened? Anyone from here? Yes. You guys will definitely know. Someone from the audience who is a non-speaker, who is an attendee, who wants to say what was the idea behind that expansion? What happened? What had happened? Right, exactly. Yes, please. You need to shout really loud for me to get it. Yes. Okay, I got the child word. I was trying to get that child word. I got it. So thank you. This is the correct definition. So this is a very small code base. You can see like it's like how much 33 lines there. It's very easy to figure out that what's happening. But what happens is during production talks, we don't really get like such small code bases, and this expansion kind of things happen. And really, we need to take care of that contradiction that happens at the runtime boundary. So at any point of time, you put forward any kind of packages which you are trying to import in production that does expand your portion of the code base that is getting into the browser of the clients. Now, how exactly is that? When you use this use client directive, it's very likely to be used because if you know the basic difference between what Next and React is, then we are sure that you have worked with server-side rendering, you know what use client does. So basically what happens is when my bundler from the server side is trying to inject the bundled JavaScript of the things which we need to render in the client side, we are basically sending some packaged data. It can be some MB, it can be some KB, it can be whatever. But the basic thing which I had noticed is that we are very careless about it. Why exactly? Because a part of that code base is written by AI. We do not really care about it. We do npm run dev, it runs fine. We check if the data is alright. Most importantly, if the site looks good, that's what I care about. If it is having some cool animations and all. But sitting at the back, this is one of the technical things which kills almost every piece of thing I've seen which was not refactored. Now, the blunders which we engineers make, even I did when I was starting off, is that we use this use client very, very carelessly. Now, what happens is, if I can like shift out to maybe my skeleton, I don't know where is it. Ah, there we go. Okay, so this was like a small representation. We know that both of them looked like the same, but the difference which the audience and the speaker just spotted out properly was this. So the expanded version, the 2.03 kilobytes, the reason it was that if you use the use client directive, anything imported in that file automatically becomes something to be injected in your client side. Automatically it does. Even if you are trying to pick up a server component, because in next app router version, after I guess 13.4, it was like the app router was taken in. So if you pull out anything, it will automatically become server side. If you want to send something to the client, you have to use this use client, and what happens is if you take a server component and if you put it in the client, it can be a package, it can be a component, it can be anything that is supposed to be bundled and sent to the client. So my browser sitting at my laptop, maybe I'm like running Amazon, I'm shopping something, I'm watching YouTube, there is Spotify running somewhere or the other. It is not handling just this one, it is handling some more things. And then when it takes in a huge blob of data that comes as a package of JavaScript bundle, it fails. And I was just talking by sitting there that we have done out of memory, we have crashed. There was a point of time what happened was like I was building my own blogging site. I will talk about it at the end because of a specific reason. At that blogging site during development, I also crashed because of this specific reason. You may hear about it. We have a specific package called as Mark. Do you know? It is used to render markdown on websites, basically used by chatbot websites or like any blogging sites. It is a what you see is what you get type editor. There is another package called as blocknote. These are really, really heavy packages. Your browser may use something like gzip to kind of compress them, but again, it doesn't compress that well. And technically, when a browser starts off in development or in some place when it happens in production, it will eat up a hell lot of RAM. We don't want that. আমার সাইটটা খোলার পরে যদি আমি একটা blank screen পাই, even after having such a great framework, then I'm killing my SEO, I'm killing my company's like initial loading time, and also I might lose users. Trust me, real set যুগে কারোর patience নেই. If a site takes up a time to load, I'm just gonna go back and I will try an alternative. So very, very good example is that if you try to download any kind of Instagram Reels, for specific reasons I won't say, you will figure out that there are multiple sites which are doing this. And such a site is safe from internet. There are many sites. They are all proxied. Hello, hello. Okay. They are all proxied somewhere or the other, and they kind of lag out, or else they load very late. I would lose my patience. I don't want my users or the people in my company to face something like this. So even after a lot of directives, this thing happens, and we have to take care of that. So this second diagram, hello. Okay. Hello. Hello, hello. I am that bad. Hello. Okay. So this second one, the second diagram which is there is the basic practice we follow. For example, if we hello. Do I have a replacement? Okay, okay. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. So what happens is, shall I try that one? I will keep it as a standby if it fails. Okay, so what we do in practice is that when we import anything or we need to put forward something in the client side, the best practice, if possible, is that we set it out as a child or a children, you can say. The major reason behind this is we do not want the entire bundled JavaScript of that to land in the client's browser. We want only the prop of the HTML that comes from the server after the server renders it to come here. If we need hydration, only then we shall be passing forward the blob of JS that will handle it. Remember, hydration is very costly. I learned it in a very hard way after a lot of failed things that happened in production. But I do not really want your clients to face this or something which you are trying to build in production. Hydration is very, very costly. It takes a lot of things into this. Your SEO performance will increase, your optimization will be increased, and technically we had a good talk on how this compiler works. I won't enter that, but it also affects the phase of it. So that's a good practice that we put forward. Now, when we talk about this boundary, what kind of boundary is this? Like for example, when we use client, we basically create a module graph boundary between this server side and client side, and we branch off. So any files which is landing on the client side is branched off. So how do we handle this? Now, this is not a tutorial because I believe that you guys are experts at this, but there are some specific set of experiences which has happened, and there were some performance issues because of that. So mostly what happened was this transport contract which was there, which is present basically, which is basically the RSC payload, React Server Component Payload Protocol that happens when the server sends out those HTML DOM. What happens is there are specific things which can go through, there are some things which cannot go through. It's like a filter. What do you think can go through? HTML goes through, CSS does come in. Have you ever tried to create a function to be invoked? How many of you have tried to create a button click which will give you a console hello world? You have tried, right? Absolutely. Because in React, I guess like in Next, there is this specific template that comes in which has this button you can click and see the number of count. That's the first template which you see. So when you do that, when we write functions, how do my protocol behave? What can I send? What can I not send? So there was this specific thing that we did was we, hello? Hello, hello? Which one? Hello, hello? 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 I don't think it has power. Hello, hello? Hello? Okay, thank you. So the directive is that when we put forward this kind of, I guess the sound is much better than before. Okay, so anyways, so when this transport contract happens, like there are specific things which we can send through. Let us see something. So as I told, server functions is one of the, we have lots, okay, but it's not possible to cover them. Server function is one of the most interesting things I've seen, and mostly like when we invoke or call functions via React, then what happens is, do you know what's like an action ID? Have you ever like decided to inspect into the network tab when you click a button of your production build? Do you know what's an action ID is? Anyone from the audience? Have you seen network calls? Okay, don't worry, I will show you. So the reason I would tell is that we talk about this client boundary a lot, and it's not possible to punch down everything into a single talk today. But why I talk about this is because like the ones who are developing for React, we would love to explore what's inside it. And when you dive deep into it, this client boundary or the boundary which we get here is a very interesting one. It has a particular filter and it doesn't allow everything to go through it. The fun part, which we technically get to see, is this action ID. Now, I didn't really know about it. I got to know about it when I was developing something. So, what is this action ID? When you try to call a function, what do we use? We use a callback. Everybody agrees, give me a hand raise. Everybody agrees we use a callback. So, when we use a callback, what happens is, how does my like server know that, okay, what did I press? Where does it exist? Because that server function doesn't exist in my client. Like normal JavaScript does, that server function, for example, I need to fetch something from DB. I am not supposed to put that JS code here. That is the optimization we just did to kind of keep the client safe. So in that case, what exactly do we do? We follow something called as an action ID. Now, I will try to shift to a specific route which I have created. Let me figure it out. Okay, so here is the site which has the network panel open. Now, there is this button at the end written as confirm impossible purchase. I don't know how many of you can see the site inspect panel, but if I just scroll down a bit, can you see this next action? I don't know if you can see that. Give me a hand raise if you can see it on the screen. Can you see next action? The one side, that side, can you see it? Okay, super. So what is basically this next action? When I click on this button, there will be a specific network call which will be made. I don't think I'm running my client actually. Just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, so I did click. This was one of it that came up. If I scroll down, okay, I got this next section once again. So this is the way we allow this prop to flow. So basically my client sends this, and I have this, I have a specific file called as proxy.ts sitting here. This can capture the network call on my server side. So if you want to build something like this, which is basically nothing we do, it's just for testing purposes. You can see that the same next action was here. Can you see this particular text in my server logs? This is the same action ID that was there in the network cell. If you compare between this, it's a huge thing. Like we have to do a Python equal operator or something in the console or whatever in the V8 engine. So these are the same things. So we allow this kind of props to go through, but not everything can be sent. And the understanding of what can be sent and what exactly should be sent is what optimizes your client to make something load faster. And the prime example of how I learned it in the very hard way is when I was building this particular site. It's my own blogging site. It's at blog.lexpo. The talk which I'm giving today, the entire thing is written here. And while I was building this, I had faced a lot of things because of specific reasons. Number one, I had talked about Blocknote. This entire site uses it. It is a very heavy package that happens at the back, and it was very difficult to decide what is to be sent to the client because there are so many interactions you can do. How many of you have tried using medium.com? You guys can write blogs? Okay, great. How many of you, would definitely look at you, yes. Like she has got a tremendous number of followers here. But how many of you have tried using Notion on the web? Okay, in Notion, you can get something like what you see is what you get edited. Do you know what that is? Yes, please.
So what a WYSIWYG editor usually does is that it can either, usually it works with Markdown because Markdown is very popular.
Yes.
But so what WYSIWYG? So
You can give it to him, give it to him. Yes. No issues.
It's working, it's working.
You can try this.
hello. Yeah. So what a WYSIWYG editor usually does is that it shows you what, again, it's in the name itself, right? It shows you what the final product, the marked up product, like instead of the exact code itself. So whatever it may be, maybe it's like a HTML WYSIWYG editor, whether it's Markdown. Usually it's Markdown, it's very popular. So and you mentioned
What you see is what you get.
yeah, no.
The Blocknote. Blocknote, the package.
Blocknote,
Yes.
right. So I haven't used Blocknote,
Okay.
but the one I usually use is one sec. Yeah. Yes. So and again with that as well, it's very heavy, and usually it takes from like you mentioned out of memory.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So with me, we had like a translation engine which showed the this itself, and as like the context gets heavier
Yes.
and heavier, we didn't know how to do that.
That was the problem, yes.
Back then, I didn't know, and yes, a lot of memories.
Yes. Super experience. Thank you. Okay, so like that's one of the worst experiences I also had, and technically like I cannot build this thing in development. Like I cannot do it on my laptop because when I do it, if I am running, for example, a browser or something, this thing cannot be built. So think about it. When I'm trying to build the server, it's difficult for me to build the block node here itself when I do npm run day for production. Basically, we do not do it. It is the CI that does it on GitHub sandboxes, but sometimes you need to build it to see the size of it. It's needed. So I cannot do it here. I have a separate client, single board computer, RPI5 that does it for me. So just think that in this scape, when you are trying to put forward so many interactions, for example, you are trying to understand somebody who is writing an H1 tag, somebody who is trying to put forward a link. There are so many interactions that is to be filtered out, which are client side, which are not meant to be interactable. So for example, like I don't need to make that Elixpo here interactive. This one part matters to the production. So if it is so that it is not interactive, I'm not supposed to put the entire JS bundle that comes in here in the client side because I'm already at the edge. When you are trying to push forward something like Notion, which contains so much of what you see is what you get, and the principle of block node, it will become heavy for your client to handle this. It is very natural. So the decision of the particular motive of my talk was to not tell you that what use client does. Basically, the major ideation that I want to tell you guys is to think. Writing use client directive does allow you to put forward your scape into the client side. You can do interaction, you can do use state, use effect, and whatnot. But what happens is when you decide on what comes from it, you want to say something? Okay, 2 minutes just. Okay. When you decide on what comes out of it is the matter of concern that you must consider being a developer. So that was the basic directive of today's talk, and I know I'm a bit low on time, so once again, connections are up, and I was like really motivated from the very first talk that we don't ghost, we do reply. So please feel to reach out. We guys are the maintainers, so our work is to capture things all day long, all along GitHub discussion, so we are quite chronically online people. But yes, this was a very short topic for my very first speaking session at React Kolkata. We'll come out with more in the future, and I believe that the second time I will be here, hopefully, and it will be an amazing experience more than what I had this time. So thank you so much. Mic is closed. This one you will take that.
একটু এটা
Let's start, right?
Yes. অর্ক অর্ক কোথায়?
The laptop is
ল্যাপটপ চলছে না। অর্ক কোথায়?
Okay. Okay, thanks a lot, Ayushman. Thanks a lot for this amazing session. I think everybody has learned something good from this, right? Okay, everybody is still energized? Okay, so I'm not hearing again. Everybody is still energized, right? Learn something from Ayushman's session? Yes. No? Who said no? Who said no? Okay, I think you need to talk to Ayushman after this then. Okay. Again, we will be quickly moving forward with the next set of agendas. But before that, we will like to, thank our sponsors, our collaborative partners again. So first starting with React Shiliguri, thanks a lot to the members, Devjit and Sharu. So they are here, and thanks a lot for coming all the way from Shiliguri. And next, I would love to thank our venue partner, Techno University again. Then I would like to thank our title sponsor, Miro, for sponsoring us. I would like to also thank our media partner, React Kolkata, for spreading our words. So yes, again, thanks a lot, these all amazing people, for helping us, helping spreading our words, the good things as a community we are doing. So can we have a big round of applause for them? I heard like we have almost 200 people, and is this the... Oh, no, it's 200, trust me. So, is this the amount of clapping noise? Again, I'm saying, can we have a big round of applause for all of our sponsors? Thanks a lot. Yes, that is, I think, the vibe we should have always. Okay, after this, we can, quickly go ahead and can we change the slide? We are also partnering with Open Source Con India, and yes, there is a code. They are not here with us due to some reason, of their personal reason, so they have shared the code. Using that, you can get 20% off for Open Source Con India. Open Source Con India is going to happen in the December. Please don't forget to participate, and using this code, you can get 20% off. So yes, don't miss this chance. Next, another thing, we are going to have a build-a-thon next, and after the build-a-thon, we have a small snack arrangement for you all. So yes, please wait a bit long. We will be quickly completing the build-a-thon session, and then we can have a break time and the snack time. Before that, I would like to call Tapas for something he has said, that he has a, surprise for us. And we all love surprises, right? So yes. Okay.
Okay, I'll keep it short. No, that's fine. Okay, I'll keep it short. First question হচ্ছে কার কার খুব খিদে পেয়েছে? Excellent, I like that. কারণ কিছু কিছু মেসেজ করছিলাম হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ গ্রুপে যে মানে জিপগুলো অসাধারণ ছিল যারা যারা পাঠিয়েছে। সো জাস্ট হোল্ড অন ফর সাম টাইম। ইয়া ওকে ফাইন। সো ওরা এটা ঠিক করতে করতে আমি কিছু জিনিস বলি। সেটা হচ্ছে আমি প্রথমে বলছিলাম যে অ্যাজ এ কমিউনিটি আমরা অনেকটা দূর এগিয়েছি, অ্যান্ড ইনফ্যাক্ট এখনও পর্যন্ত অনেক কিছু কাজ করা বাকি আছে। সো যেহেতু আমরা রিয়াক্ট কলকাতায় জিনিসটা বলছি, প্লাস এখানে রিয়াক্ট শিলিগুড়ির রিপ্রেজেন্টেটিভ অলসো আছে, তো শুধু কলকাতা শুধু শিলিগুড়ি এই জিনিসটা করে আমাদের মানে পোষাবে না, আমাদের এর থেকে একটু বেশি কিছু করতে হবে। তো সেই কারণে একটা ইনিশিয়েটিভ নিয়ে আমরা আপাতত কাজ করছি, এবং সেই ইনিশিয়েটিভটার পার্ট মানে তোমাদের সবাইকে হতে হবে। ওকে, সো লেট মি গেট স্টার্টেড উইথ দ্যাট ইফ দিস গাইজ আর এবল টু ফিক্স ইট। We are going to announce something, and I want all of you to scan this QR code. And then whoever able to launch it, shout and say, what are you saying? Exactly. So we are launching westbengal.tech. Please give a clap, big hand for yourself. Okay, now what we are going to do with that is just not a website. If you can launch it, westbengal.tech here. It's just not a website. This is, you can consider as a pre-launch, okay? In this website, we want you to register first. There is a registration button somewhere. You have to register first. Please make sure that you put all the fields are mandatory. If you find bugs, the website code is open source, go ahead and fix it. You also have a GitHub link, so you can go ahead and do it, and there is a discussion tab on the website project. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. So what we're going to do from here, we are going to bring multiple communities in West Bengal under same umbrella, and there is no force for it, okay? We are not going to force and police anyone saying that, hey, you have to come and become part of westbengal.tech. It's completely volunteer effort. If you want to be part of the community, come and join. Now you will ask, what is the benefit? What am I going to get out of being part of the community? What you're getting today, apart from food, being here, you are getting knowledge, you are getting networking, you are coming to know folks, right? And this is, food will go off after a few hours, but this is going to go off for long, long time. If you connect with me, believe me, if I accept your friend request on LinkedIn, I'm not going to leave you. So it's like that. So if you are going to gain that momentum, you want to bring something. How many districts are there in West Bengal? Can anybody give a right answer? How many? I think official record is 23. Okay, whatever, 20 plus. Right? So again, it should not be like confined within what we are doing in Kolkata, what we're doing in Siliguri. There are multiple pockets where you can have your college, you can have your universities, you can have your school, talk about technology and bring them under the same umbrella. So right now, what I'm looking for, all of you to register and then spread the word that we have something called westbengal.tech. We are going to bring mentorship. We are going to bring a lot of startups to put their knowledge base, to put their work, put their address, whatever they are doing to start with, because it's very easy to break through the big companies, but it's much easier to go to the startups or friends and tell that, okay, you can get started by submitting these things. Want you to get connected, want you to get mentorship. If you want to start your startup, you want to get certain kind of mentorship, you really don't know whom to reach out to, we want to make sure that you get connected. If you think that your resume is very strong and you are not going to spam someone, but at the cost of giving your project ideas and everything, you want to get connected, this is going to help you. So there are a lot of things going to happen over there, so stay connected. The best part of this is you are going to build it. Okay, so I believe all of us here are developer. So you are going to build it, and the website is just a very tiny part of it. There are a lot of other visions around it that we want to get done. So please stay tuned. If you are registering, you will be getting email on every stage, every layer where we are going to publish that what we are going to do next. We'll have a community forum where you can join if you're interested, and we're going to build certain things together. So thank you again for joining this meetup. Thanks to all the sponsors, all the speakers especially, and thank you for registering to westbengal.tech. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, we have now the time for the much awaited build-a-thon. Okay, so yeah, again, I will not bore you guys. I know you guys are already hungry. So yeah, I mean, time to build, right? And I mean, everyone has the laptop ready with them, right? If not, this is the time you should use to get ready to build a lot of cool stuffs. And then, yeah, I mean, don't get disappointed. You can use AI since you have very short time, and you can scan to register for this hackathon. So before that, I will pass the mic on to Milan. So he will be helping you to go through with Miro and how you can use that. So before that, I would urge everyone to scan this QR to register for this build-a-thon. I know already almost 100 of you has already applied in the registration desk. So just for the formal one, please scan this QR and set up your laptops so you can build it, right?
আর লিঙ্কটাও শেয়ার করে দাও যেন গ্রুপে।
Yeah, we'll share that.
ওটাও বলে দাও যে শেয়ার করে দিচ্ছি।
Yeah, and also all the resources that it is showing here is shared in the WhatsApp community, and we'll be sharing again during the webinar. And in case you need any help regarding how to use Miro and any question regarding that, we have Milan here. You can always reach out to him. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So everyone has registered. Anyone left?